So it brings up 3rd down and 8 for Elway in the Bronco offense. Again, he sends Watson wide left. Claiborne up tight against him at the lower portion of your screen. Up high, that's Butch Johnson, the former Dallas Cowboy, working against the rookie Gibson. Lippett in the game now. Here's Elway standing in, firing, and it's incomplete. He came down with the ball, but it was ruled he was not in.
He caught the ball. Elway's got that very strong arm. Of course, he was out last week with a bruised throwing shoulder. Watson does catch the football. He's got to get both feet down inbounds, and I think his knee made contact out of bounds. Therefore, good call by the officials. Bring up a 4th down. Elway practiced all week. It bothered him a little bit on Thursday, he said, Don, but he's fine now.
Had a bruised right shoulder. Stephen Starring drops back now. Chris Norman ready to punt the ball for a 2nd time. Starring having a big year for New England, a former college quarterback at McNeese State. Norman hits the ball very high. Good punt carrying downfield. Starring is going to field it, looking into the sun at his 33. He turns the corner and has room to go as he's across the 45. Midfield, and a penalty marker is down. 46-yard punt by the rookie Norman of the Broncos and a 12-yard return by Stephen Starring, but it appears it's coming back. So the first quarter clock shows 8:55 to play. Patriots moved the ball very well. First time they had it right down inside the 5, but then a fumbled snap from center. New England lost the ball and got no points. Now they get it for their 2nd possession of the ball game. Nothing on the board.
They got an illegal use of hands. What would a punt be without one of those penalties?
Tom Dooley, the referee. Not equipped for sound at the moment. Raymond Berry is not a man who says a whole lot, but he certainly has the confidence of this team. His 2nd week in as head coach, he said they're going to play a big game. We're going to find out. We'll be back after this. Patriots leading over the many years these teams have been playing, both original American Football League teams celebrating their silver anniversary years. But the last time the Patriots came in here, they came in as a slight favorite and lost 45-10. Tough place to win. Broncos on a 10-game home win streak. They've won 7 in a row this season. An early loss to the Bears. Tony Collins gets the call for the Patriots, and on a 1st down carry gets to the 30-yard line. Final score, Green Bay beating New Orleans 23-13. Giants holding now to a 19-7 lead over the Dallas Cowboys at Irving, Texas. Rams and St. Louis just getting underway, and the Rams take an early 3-0 lead. Starring comes out wide on the right flank. Stanley Morgan wide to the top of your screen on 2nd down and 8 for Eason and the Patriots. Tony Eason with some time is running out, and the ball goes incomplete at the 45-yard line, so it brings up 3rd down and long for Eason and the Patriots.
Taking a chance there. What this Denver defense likes to do is put you in situations where you make a mistake as a quarterback, and they come up with interceptions. They're throwing the ball late down the middle. Heck of a chance to take by Eason. Young man who can also run the ball with very good success and has beaten a couple of teams with his runs. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do that.
Tony Eason's run for 4 touchdowns. That's right. Very mobile. Big, strong-arm quarterback, and both these quarterbacks, Elway and Eason, have to contend with gusting winds. They're going to be having a drill blitz to get through it. He eludes the blitz, gets the ball to Stanley Morgan, the fastest player perhaps on the field. He's out to the 48-yard line, and a 1st down on an 18-yard game. Eason, quick thinking and quick-footed, finds Morgan coming across the middle.
This is not the prettiest throw he'll ever make. He's almost falling down. Morgan juggles it, but the Roadrunner with that great speed. I think he came into the ball game averaging, what did I read here? It was like 31 yards per catch.
Caught 10 for 31. Well, there it is, 31.9.
I'd get it to him more often.
Now 1st and 10 for New England. 47-yard line. James turns upfield, gets to midfield, and then a wave of orange swings him back. Greg James, 6 feet tall, 215 pounds, from SMU.
And if you've not seen the Denver Broncos this year, this is basically the way this team plays. Their defense will give up a lot of yards, and then all of a sudden they come up with a big turnover. I don't know if it's just luck or if they're that good or they strip the football, but that historically this season has been exactly what the Broncos have done.
Well, they're taught to tackle the football. They go after the football as much as they do the ball carrier, putting the helmets and the hands on it, knocking it free. And now Eason doesn't have time against the blitz. He is swept under back at the 46-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 12. Townsend, a rookie from Mississippi, a #2 draft choice with a lot of speed, got through.
Broncos giving the New England Patriots an awful lot of blitzes so far, Don.
Oh, you're saying before the Broncos show something 60 or 70 different defensive alignments in a game?
It's amazing. Joe Collier, the defensive coordinator of this football team, this Denver Bronco defense, will give you in a game 50 or 60 different looks. And each time the offensive line has to identify who, in fact, they are to block. They try to confuse you at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 12. Eason with 4 wideouts. Throws over the middle, and he's got his man, and coming across to the ball is Cedric Jones, and he's down to the 46-yard line, and that's all. Now the Broncos have the ball. They're going to rule it down. Ball was stripped. Roger Jackson, who came up with a big interception last week against the Raiders that led to the game-ending field goal in overtime, strips the ball, but the official ruled that Jones was down. 4th down, though, for New England. They'll have to punt.
Now, in '77, the defense of Denver was known as the Orange Crush. But now with the changes in the rules of the game, you don't see their defensive backs and linebackers trying to funnel receivers around the field. What they do is they hammer them when they catch the football and try to jar it loose.
Giants Trump have defeated Dallas 19-7 that final end, and here is Rich Camarillo, a all-pro punter a year ago. Back deep, waiting for the ball is Zach Thomas, number 82 for the Broncos. Camarillo's been out all season until this game because of a knee strain. He puts a charge into that one, angling it down low, and it turns into the end zone, and so it comes out on a touchback, and the Broncos have their 3rd possession of the first quarter. 6:02 to play in it. There's no score on the board as Elway and company come back out. The New York Giants apparently a contender in the NFC East as they beat Dallas today for a 2nd time this season, beating the Cowboys soundly both times. Right now, Broncos have the ball in a scoreless game, 1st and 10 at their 20. Elway brings his H-back in motion, takes a look, fires over the head. Butch Johnson, who's ahead to the 42-yard line. Post pattern straight ahead down the middle. The throw goes. It's good for a 22-yard gain, and Claiborne on the tackle as Butch Johnson almost broke it.
Well, if we were wondering how John Elway's arm felt, I think that should answer our question. He absolutely rifled that one to Butch Johnson. That was about 25 yards on the completion, 22 yards on the completion, thrown about 15 yards on a line with a lot of steam on it.
Dan Reeves, talking about the wind, said, well, they both have to throw it, and I don't know if anybody can gun it through wind better than our guy. Elway with a very strong arm. Play faking, looking long, firing a strike down the middle. It's almost intercepted. A Patriot defender fell down. He was looking again at Butch Johnson, who was cutting the wrong way. The ball was a misconnection, though, and Raymond Claiborne was close to the football.
He let him a little too much, Don. Watch the way this kid throws the ball. When he gets ready to throw it, it's up there, and bam, it's gone. But you can see he leads the receiver, Butch Johnson, right there. Just a little too much. That's one he'd like to have back. He'll complete 9 out of those, 9 out of 10 of those.
So far, Elway with 2 completions and 7 attempts. Now he has 2nd down and 10 coming up. There's no score in the first quarter. Outlet man brings it out. Sammy Winder standing out there, and he is quickly knocked down at the 39-yard line. While we have a moment, we go to NFL 84 in New York.
Dan Marino has struck quickly against the Jets. Marino to Nat Moore over the middle. This play will cover 37 yards for the touchdown. 28th touchdown pass of the year for Marino. It is 7-0. The Dolphins are out in front of the Jets.
Doesn't take long when those Dolphins and Marino are pumping. Right now, we have some strong-arm quarterbacks mixing the throw here. Right now, it's Elway on offense. Looking at 3rd and 13 against the big Russian. John Elway goes down to the 31-yard line. Coming on a blitz was Don Blackman, 55. They're trying to hold out Tippett, Trump.
Well, you're right. One of the things this offensive line of the Denver Broncos has got to do is just simply give Elway some time. There you see Tippett on Ken Lanier. Now, Tippett is about 245 pounds. You see Elway slip and go down, but that's going to be a good matchup all day long. And you can see the respect with which they treat Tippett. They put an offensive tackle on him. They wouldn't dare assign a running back to try to block Andre Tippett.
Stephen Starring back again to return a punt for New England. Fritz Norman standing and hitting it from his 22-yard line. It's a good punt away. Starring again having to look into the sun. Gets some blockers, eludes two.
Uh-oh.
And a third tackler, and finally he's across the 40 on a very good return that's free of penalties. 15-yard return by Starring, and so again the Patriots get the ball in relatively good field position, but still no score on the board at Mile High Stadium. Mile High Stadium, Patriots had one outstanding drive on their first possession, then the errant snap or the errant take by the quarterback, and they lost it.
So far, the New England Patriots have won the battle of field position, which in a windy day and against two good defenses is very, very important. So at least to this point, although nothing has really much been accomplished, New England had the ball with pretty darn good field position.
They start now from their 41. Swing pass goes out to Craig James, turning the corner. James is hit and knocked down at the 43-yard line. Mike Harden, the right cornerback, coming up to make the play number 31. Denver's secondary has been unbelievable, intercepting the ball 24 times. Vikings win one in overtime. Cincinnati, a decided underdog at Candlestick Park, an early lead on the 49ers, and Seattle goes in front of Kansas City. Two rivals from the AFC West, 2 start. Raiders could drop to third at day's end if Seattle wins today in their division. Raiders were beaten at Chicago. Eason throws a perfect ball to Morgan, turning out for it at the 43-yard line of Denver. 14-yard gain and a Patriot first down.
Threw the ball in front of Louis Wright, too. Generally, that corner of the Denver Bronco defense doesn't get a lot of business because of the respect most offenses pay to Louis Wright. Well run, timing pattern, almost impossible to stop a pass like that. They practiced that all week.
Louis Wright, number 20 there, 4 times a Pro Bowler. He's matched up right now against Starring as Morgan goes to the top of your screen. Working against Harden. First and 10, they go to the run. James breaks a tackle. Very quick, and Craig James takes it down to the 35-yard line. And on a first down carry, Craig James gets 8 yards.
Tough running back. Out of SMU, played for Ron Meyer down there. Was part of the Pony Express backfield. You want to know why he got yards? Watch the job they do on Rulon Jones. He runs right through his tackle. Generally, Jones is a pretty sure-handed tackler. That shows the strength of that young man.
Final, Pittsburgh has routed Houston 35-7. Oilers have run up the white flag
Long ago.
They haven't been in a ball game. Second down and 2, and here is Eason taking a look and firing, and the ball is incomplete at the 20-yard line, but a penalty marker goes down, and the call is against Louis Wright of the Denver Broncos, so it'll be first and 10 for New England at the Bronco 20.
And it's a tough call for an official to make because it appeared to me both players were going for the football. It's going to be against Louis Wright. It'll be a first down. I do believe that the defensive man has just as much right to the football as the offensive man, and that's what Dan Reeves is.
Number 20 defense. First down.
You see Dan Reeves is not too happy with that guy standing on the sideline. Raymond Berry likes the call. Generally works that way.
So the Patriots with their second deep penetration of the Denver end. You recall earlier they were inside the 5 but lost it on a fumble. Still no score in this game. James, a great back, working his way after being hit at the line of scrimmage. Or Tony Collins weaving down, coming inside the 15-yard line, and Collins is down to the 13.
Don, prior to this ballgame, we were talking to Dan Reeves, and he was concerned about the speed of this football team. Not just the wide receivers, but also the other members of the football team. I tend to think that the respect cornerbacks are giving these wide receivers of the New England Patriots is going to be a problem for Denver.
After the carry by Tony Collins of 4 yards, it's now going to be second down and 6 for the Patriots. Working from the 13-yard line of Denver. Again, they go to Collins, and again,
Nothing.
The Orange Crush defense sweeps him under, and now we go back to New York in NFL 84.
All right, Don, at Giants Stadium, the Jets have come right back against Miami. Pat Ryan to Wesley Walker. He'll juggle the ball, but makes the catch. The play covers 33 yards. 6th touchdown of the year for Walker. It is 7-7. Dolphins and the Jets are tied.
Thank you, Bill. Jets over the recent years with a history of playing the Dolphins tough, particularly when Walt Michaels was coaching the Jets.
Don Mosey to Tupper win the ball game now for the New England Patriots.
3rd down and just over 5. Up the middle, a great breakup. Action Jackson, number 57. Tom Jackson slapped the ball down as again Morgan on that pattern we saw earlier. Coming off the left bank, cutting directly behind the line of scrimmage. This time Jackson was waiting for him.
So far, Easton's got plenty of time to throw the ball, and this is the character of this defense. They stand there, they let the offense get a lot of yards, and then, bam, big play. Tom Jackson, 12-year veteran. He's the inspirational leader of this defense.
Jackson Trump says that the Broncos are so excited about this season. It's tough to get through another week waiting for the game. They can't wait to play again.
Well, when you win 7 straight, that happens.
Right now, ready for a 30-yard field goal attempt with Tony Eason holding is Tony Franklin. He is on the way and right through the middle. So the first points of the game are up with 51 seconds to play in the first quarter. The New England Patriots take a 3-0 lead. Next Saturday at Thoroughbred Racing's $10 million day, Breeders' Cup. It'll be a day to remember. Franklin, as you see, a New England record, an 8th consecutive field goal, 30 yards out. Tony said he hated to see Ron Meyer go. It's the only coach he ever got along with. Sure didn't get along with Vermeil. Here's a high-spinning kickoff. Fielded and fumbled by a linebacker.
It's still on the ground. They got it.
Broncos come up with the ball. Coming up with the ball originally was Aaron Smith. With the touch of a jackhammer, he lost it trying to run it upfield.
Watch this thing squirt away, though. Don Summers, the tight end, eventually is the one for the Denver Broncos who retains possession. This is handled rather nonchalantly up there. Of course, it's by a linebacker. Now watch it get kicked in there. Boop, watch out. See right behind him? And Summers, man, on the spot. He makes the recovery. And Denver's best field position so far to start a drive.
Yep, they're out to their 35-yard line. New England's leading the game 3-0. 41 seconds to play in the first quarter. Elway, ready to go to the run, and Winder takes a hard lick as he comes up across the 35. Blackman, 55, was the first to stick him. Gain of only a yard on the play.
And so far, those linebackers are not biting on that play-action fake. You saw both Nelly and Blackman standing right there waiting for Winder to come through the line of scrimmage.
Donahue's just kicked a field goal for the Cardinals, a hot team, and they've tied the Rams 3-3. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Denver from the 35-yard line. Elway gets his man. Coming out was the H-back, John Sawyer. Sawyer is knocked down as he crosses the 35-yard line, gets out to the 40. Roland James was on the tackle. Right now, time's run out in the first quarter, so after the first 15 minutes, New England holds to a 3-0 lead, and we'll be back right after this. Patriots dominant on offense in the first quarter. More than almost triple the production of the Broncos on offense. New England holding to a 3-0 lead. Denver has the ball, 3rd down and a long 4. Elway stands in, gets away from the rush. Now the penalty marker comes in. They'll be called for a hold, and Elway running hard is dragged down from behind. There's going to be a holding call, though, against Denver.
Elway's got bad shoulders now. In the opening game of the season, he was nailed by Ross Browner at Cincinnati. Hurt one shoulder. Then 2 weeks ago, he got nailed again. Hurt the throwing shoulder. You don't want a 275-pound defensive end like Ken Sims hanging on the shoulder pads of your quarterback. But holding Denver, you certainly saw Elway's athletic ability. Watch Ken Sims, number 77, come from the right side of your picture, grab a hold of the back of his shoulder pads. Well, he can take a hit on that shoulder. That's the one that hurt him last week that kept him out of the ball game.
Critical loss at the moment for Denver. Their left tackle, David Studdard, who grades out as their best offensive lineman, is out with a concussion at the moment. We don't know if he'll return, number 70. But he grades out so high that the
Holding.
say
Number 60 offense. Penalty is declined. It will be fourth down.
Paul Howard, but the penalties you hear decline. Stoddard hasn't allowed a sack all year, but right now he's out.
Yeah, and Don, this is an offensive line that's very thin to begin with. Bishop is out with a strained arch. All he can do is snap on punts. So they're hurting there. They like to employ, Denver does, an unbalanced line. But with a lack of healthy offensive linemen, they really can't use that so far today.
Norman in to punt again. Fourth time he's done that in this game with 14:49 to play in the first half. And Starring again drops back deep for New England. Patriots holding to the 3-0 lead on a 30-yard field goal by Tony Franklin. If you joined us late, New England's first possession with Craig James running, mixed with some Tony Eason throws. The Patriots took it down inside the Bronco 5, but lost it on a fumble. Eason missed a snap from center. Broncos got it, and the drive was stopped. Now the Patriots will get it back. Norman with the hard hitting to the ball, and Starring's going to let it go into the end zone. So it comes out to the 20, a 56-yard punt. Net 36, though, as it comes out 20 yards, and Raymond Berry making notes. Bowling continues next week on NBC at a special time, 1 o'clock in the East, 3 Pacific. Dave Stoddard, the best offensive lineman for the Broncos this season, on the sidelines with what's been determined as a mild concussion. Not been determined whether he'll go back in. New England has the ball first and 10 from their 20. Eason's running out a little bit low as he tried to get it to Derek Ramsey. The second down and 10 for the Patriots. Patriots with an early 3-0 lead. They might not know how to handle that. All season long, they've been coming from behind.
You're right. 5 of their 6 wins come from behind victories.
Patriots a good road team also. They're 3-1 on the road. Broncos unbeaten at home through 4 games here. Eason's now thrown the ball Trump 8 times, has completed 5 for 74 yards. Big gain of that 35-yarder to Derek Ramsey that got it down close. No points, though, because there was a fumble that followed. Eason gets time. Now he runs away from trouble. Looks at people and gets it out. It's caught by Derek Ramsey, who's out of bounds at about the 28.
Don, one of the things you'll see about both of these quarterbacks, Eason for New England, Elway for Denver. They hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball. They allow the receivers to get open, let the defense spread out. I mean, if they can't get it down the field, I'm more than happy to take that out with the receiver. So far, the New England Patriots have been, as we suggested at the top of the show, very patient, rather conservative. They don't want to give any impetus to this Denver Bronco team, which is generally supplied by a turnover.
That's where it comes from. They really infused this crowd and this football team, the defense of the Broncos. 41 turnovers this year through today's game. Craig James on third and short yardage gets ahead. Looks like he has the first down. Needed to get to the 30, and he's across it. So Craig James and the Patriots get some must yardage for 4 new downs.
And it's a tough place to play. New England has a very distinct advantage. They got 3 running backs. James carrying the bulk of the load right now. Mosi Tatupu and Tony Collins, all 3 have a very good speed. Collins is the quickest, and they can put 2 other guys in there and keep them fresh throughout the football game, which can be a factor here in Mile High Stadium.
Ian Reeves, the Denver coach, said the speed of New England was his #1 concern. He said not just their skill people are fast, their linemen are. James on first and 10 breaks into open field and runs ahead for a gain of 9 yards out to the 39-yard line.
Great pull by Ron Wooten. Offensive guard just blasted Tom Jackson out of there. James right up through the hole. Excellent job. This is a huge and very mobile offensive line for their size.
Cornerback Ernest Gibson of the Patriots having an ankle x-ray. Lippett has been in there since early in the game. Craig James, you saw his numbers already with 55 yards on just 9 carries. We're early in the second quarter. The Patriots with the ball in a 3-0 lead. Right back to James, who accelerates and comes across the 45-yard line. Penalty marker comes down. Watch big John Hanna, 73. Some say the best there's ever been at run blocking from his position.
He looks like Ming the Merciless. You remember back in the golden days of television? You got somebody holding Hanna, one of the great drive blockers that you can find in the history of the NFL.
58 offense.
That's Pete Brock, the center.
Brock and Hanna have long been the key to the Patriot running game. Pete Brock in his 9th year played at nearby Boulder at the University of Colorado.
Don, you see that collar that Hanna's wearing? They had that attached to his shoulder pads. And a collar inside that.
They got some huge people up front. The Foxborough skyline, the New England offensive line. 2nd down and 12 now, and Easton has 3 wideouts. Two to the right, one to the left, and he stands in as the foot thunder starts rolling down. Easton with good mobility, fires the ball. No intentional grounding, and while we have a moment to NFL 84.
Don, at Candlestick Park, Jim Breach had given Cincinnati a 3-0 lead, but the 49ers have struck back. Joe Montana to Earl Cooper. He gets into the end zone. It is 7-3. The 49ers lead it. They're now in the 2nd quarter.
Thank you, Bill. 49ers best in the National Conference, going into the 10th week of play with an 8-1 record, and rarely challenged this year.
Their lone loss to an AFC Central Division opponent, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right. This crowd can be tough. The Bronco fans start up. Foot thunder. Rocky Mountain Thunder as Easton on 3rd and 11 stands in, throws a strike. Dancing away, but not enough for a first down. Cedric Jones turns up at the ball and gets to the 39-yard line. Or rather, that was Clarence Weathers, 82, and he's out to the 39, but just short by a yard, and so the Patriots will have to punt the ball.
Still, though, New England, pluses and minuses. Minuses that had the ball down to the Denver goal line twice, got just 3 points. That's the minus. The plus is they've been very, very conservative in their game plan to this point. They do not want to turn that football over to Denver.
Zach Thomas ready to run back the punt. Camarillo's in to hit the ball for the Patriots. Pro Bowl punter a year ago. Knee strain in the preseason has kept him out till now. The ex-Bronco Prestridge, who punted through the first 9 games, was waived by New England. Long spiral downfield. Angle to the sideline. Thomas takes it. Looks for room. Not much there, and he's out of bounds inside the 20. Dombrowski comes down to cover for the Patriots. And while there's a break in the action, the Denver offense comes back out with the Patriots in the lead 3-0.
Today's game is brought to you by GMAC, the financing people from General Motors. By Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste. And by your Firestone retailers coast to coast. Come on, America, drive over to Firestone.
With Bob Trumpy, this is down Tricky Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. Broncos have the ball. You see they've come up empty on 4 previous possessions. New England playing spirited defense and holding to a 3-0 lead with 11:54 to play in the first half. 1st and 10 for the Broncos in Elway. Pitch back to Winder. Again, the Patriots swarming to the ball. Marion, Lippett, Blackman all in on the play.
Denver that time, Don, came with the 2 running backs. Peros in front of Winder to try to give a different look to the New England Patriots. And now Peros comes out, so they go with something else because they didn't get many yards.
Winder with only 8 yards and 5 carries. Jets and the Dolphins still tied 7-7 at Giant Stadium in New Jersey. 2nd quarter. 2nd down now and just over 10. Elway in trouble on the run, and he's going to be snowed. He gets away from Toby Williams. Fires it flat. Here's a stick by Blackman. A free ball. Blackman can't get to it, but he did make the play for a substantial loss. Patriots. This is the kind of defense Bronco fans are used to seeing their team play here.
You're absolutely correct. That come from behind victory last week against the New York Jets. Obviously, a tremendous psychological lift. Now, Elway does a great job of getting away from the rush. The man that almost got him was Toby Williams, number 90, right there. And the mistake he makes is throwing it. That's taking a chance. Ball does go loose. Sawyer's able to get back on top of it. That's a loss of how many yards? 10? Close to 10 yards?
Yep, backed up a full 10 now. It brings up 3rd down and 20. All back at the 8-yard line of Denver. So Elway, we're looking to pump and fire long. He's got a fastball arm. Watch him run to this if he can. He can't. Patriot coverage was
It's been 10 games since they've seen the Denver Broncos lose in this stadium. Maybe that has something to do with it.
5 possessions and no points.
Well, the New England Patriots, it's all up to their players now. A lot of them complained about Ron Meyer, and now they have no excuse. And maybe that'll help this football team. Historically, it has been a bunch of problem children, but now they're playing like the talent they've had over the last 8 or 10 years.
Well, they were 2-14 the year before Meyer went in. They didn't complain when he got him to 5-4 his first year.
He deserves a lot of credit.
Raymond Berry said the Patriot team turned the corner last year when they started stopping people. A shank punt, and it carries out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. So the Broncos are misfiring, and their normally loyal following is letting some boos rain down. There's Gary Kubiak. When Elway was hurt last week, he went start to finish with a leg injury and quarterbacked the upset win over the Raiders. We could see him again. John Sawyer of the Broncos shaken up, trying to walk it off, banged up a knee. 19-yard punt by Norman of the Broncos, and the Patriots start with excellent position, 1st and 10, just outside the Denver 30-yard line. It's the second quarter, and the Patriots lead the game on Tony Franklin's 30-yard field goal, 3-0. James, moving and cutting back, starts to lose his footing. Players around the league think this is one of the best playing fields in the NFL.
Mike Harden on the tackle. This is a prescription athletic turf. It has sand underneath it. It has drains underneath it. They can heat the field, but today has been a little loose. I'm rather surprised. Normally this is excellent footing on this field.
Raymond Berry, not a guy to be bound and taking credit. He said, I didn't call one play last week because I didn't know one. They asked him about his halftime talk. He said, must not have been much because I can't remember a thing I said. That's what the players like about him. Eason is swept under at the 39-yard line as the Bronco defense ignites the crowd. Rulon Jones, number 75, comes through.
Stanley Morgan was wide open, too. Rulon Jones will get the sack. Watch Hannah. I don't know if this has any effect on his... Well, he was really aggressive. He stepped out. It was a play-action pass. I don't think John expected Eason to be that far out of the pocket, but remember, Hannah was in the hospital last week. He missed a full week of practice. Has not worked out much this week. John's mad at himself. He doesn't make mistakes like that very often.
Jones lined up way inside across from Hannah. Normally, defensive end on the right side. He was playing almost over the nose. Now on 3rd and long yardage, Eason takes a look, stands in, throws a strike, and he's got the ball down to the 22-yard line. Cedric Jones makes the reception for the Patriots. A 16-yard gain, still short of a first down, but it'll be close.
Well, that's that speed again. Those wide receivers of the New England Patriots, they can get down the field in a hurry. Scoring was a college quarterback. Morgan's got outstanding speed, and so does Cedric Jones as Franklin comes in for the field goal attempt.
4th down and just over 2, so Tony Franklin, who hit from 30 yards, will try again. This one will be just over 30. Tony Eason holds. Franklin delivers it through the uprights again, and he is 2 for 2. He's 11 for 14 this season. He's done his job well, and the Patriots extend their lead to 6-0. They'll kick it off when we come back. Patriots dominating the game with 140 total yards, as you see, to just 40 for the Broncos. And on the scoreboard, New England with 2 Tony Franklin field goals leads the game 6-0. We have 7:27 to play in the first half.
Missed opportunities by New England with that kind of yardage and the disparity between the two teams. You would think New England would have more points on the board.
Costly early fumble. It has to be remembered, though, that this Bronco team ready to receive, as you see Thomas and Lang back, delivers knockout punches on defense. Every game they force turnovers. Bright sunny day, temperature at kickoff time in the 50s, but the winds gusting 35 to 45 miles an hour brought the chill factor way down. No threat of snow. That can happen in a hurry in Denver. Franklin hits the kickoff, a spinner downfield that Zach Thomas will take for the Broncos at the goal line. 15 is all. Tupu with a good special teams play comes down to make the tackle. And now let's go to NFL 84.
All right, Don, we want to show you what just happened in Kansas City as Seattle has now returned 2 Bill Kinney passes for touchdowns. Here's the latest as Keith Simpson goes 76 yards the other way for the score. Earlier, Dave Brown had a 95-yard interception return for a touchdown. So it is now 17-0 Seattle. The defense has done the job.
Thank you, Bill McAtee. Best receivers on the field, DBs for Seattle. Right now, it's 1st and 10 for the Denver Broncos, just across their 15-yard line. Elway stops, looks, goes to Winder. He's in open field, and Sammy Winder, weaving his way up across the 30, has a first down and more as he's out to the 35.
Well done. I want to make this point at the outset. To this point in the game, Denver is at very poor field position. They started at the 22, the 3, the 20, the 35, the 18, this drive, the 16, and you can see now that Denver has gained respect for the defensive backs of the New England Patriots. 19 yards on the carry. They're going to try anything they possibly can. They've had very little offensive success thus far.
Steve Nelson finally ran him down. It's 1st and 10 for the Broncos. They trail in the second quarter 6-0. Elway almost taken away. Nelson coming back on the ball again. 11-year veteran. Patriots missing a tremendous football player in their linebacking core. Clayton Wysoon out for the season. He'll be back, though. As you see some of the scores earlier today, the Bears beat the Raiders, the Giants over the favored Cowboys. San Diego back on track without Kellen Winslow. Fans watching this one in San Diego have to be buoyed by that news. They got the big offense today. Pittsburgh, leader of the NFC Central, against the feudal Houston Oilers. 2nd down and 10, Denver. Winder looks, and he gets nothing but a lot of Patriots. Ken Sims came across. We now pause for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WVIT Channel 30, New Britain, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven.
Sims is down, Trump, as we now have in the first half, 6:21 to play. New England leading the game 6-0 at sold-out Mile High Stadium, a building that's been sold out 15 straight years. Sims is up, apparently all right. When we come back and go to the action, it'll be 3rd down and 10 for Denver.
Steve Nelson here gets a little sandwich. I think he got his bell rung. Sims is up. He's all right. Now watch 57. Boom, right there. Got his neck knocked back a little bit. Off the field under his own power.
Nelson appears to be all right. He was down for a while. What's that the players talk about, Trump? They say they know it. Concern over the injury of one of the people attending to the down players wearing a tie.
That's the doctor. That'd be the doctor.
3rd down and 10 coming up for Denver as Elway sets up in the shotgun. Fires to Butch Johnson. It's a first down for the Broncos. As Johnson positioned himself at the 47. Came back at the ball, and Elway, with maybe the strongest arm in the game, put it right on the numbers.
13 yards on the reception, and now they're cheering John Elway. Watch how quickly he gets it out there. Wham! Well, there is just no substitute for arm strength like that. I don't care if he's got a bruised shoulder or not. When you can get it up there and get it out there to the receiver in a hurry, it takes away the cushion by the defensive end. You don't have to run as precise a pattern. All he's got to do is have confidence in your ability to get open.
Johnson was a backup with the Cowboys, made a lot of big plays, then went to Houston, never played a regular season game. Always liked Dan Reeves, and he's played very well since coming to Denver. On 1st and 10, a screen goes, and the big late hit. Larry McGrew, who put the Jet quarterback on the sideline with a mild concussion last week, hammers Sammy Winder. Hardest hit we've seen this year was one put on Winder by Singletary of the Bears.
You got that right. This is a well set up screen, but there's nobody out there in front of him, and McGrew reads it all the way. They got big linebackers on this football team. Tippett on one side, McGrew. We're talking about great big people, the size of defensive linemen with speed of defensive backs.
Ed Reynolds is now in the game at linebacker for New England. Apologize for the shadows as the sun begins to set here, and Colorado and John Elway on the rollout on 2nd and 15. Throws hard and goes right again to Butch Johnson. Perfect throw-catch combination as Elway, off to a slow start, all of a sudden starts to hit his target. On the mark from 20 yards away with a hard throw to Butch Johnson.
And he makes it look so easy. He rolls. Dan Reeves thinks he's the best quarterback he's ever seen throw the ball on the run. And when he gets it up there next to his ear, wham, it's gone. And I'm telling you, the receiver, the ball is thrown before the receiver turns around. Therefore, the defensive back really has no luck.
And it's 1st and 10 Denver. Broncos trail 6-0 second quarter. 3:50 to play in the half. Winder taking some hellacious licks as this time McGrew stuck him again. Winder's ahead for a gain of maybe 2 yards. Brings up 2nd down.
Trying to make note of the fact that the Broncos are now using their 3rd tight end. Sawyer was hurt with a knee. Jim Wright went out with a knee or an ankle. And now they've got Summers in the ball game running that H-back. There you see him, 85. He'll be the guy in motion.
Cincinnati still holding to a lead over San Francisco at Candlestick Park. 2nd down and 7 coming up now for the Broncos. 35-yard line of New England. Elway gets away, dumps it off. And a drop ball cost the Broncos a lot of yards. Don Blackman put the pressure on tight end Clarence Kay.
Julius Adams was in there first, the old man in the NFL at 36 years old. You see him come from the right. He avoids him. And then Blackman is there in his face. Oh, this ball should have been caught. Would have been a big gain by Clarence Kay if he hangs onto that one. Would have made a bad play a good play.
Kay is a rookie tight end from Georgia. They really like him, drafted in the 7th round.
They'd have liked him a lot more if he'd have caught that one.
He likes to slug with the Raiders. Ready to punch it after every play when they play the Raiders. Right now it's Elway on 3rd down and 7. Open is Watson. He's going in. Yards and a Bronco touchdown.
Earlier we mentioned that Elway has that ability to just keep hanging onto the ball, let the defense spread. Watson was totally uncovered. That was the side of Lippett. He just got behind him. I think they expected him to throw the ball to Butch Johnson. Dennis Watson standing down there about 10 yards deeper.
The coverage certainly converged on Butch Johnson. All of a sudden, standing behind him was Steve Watson.
Yeah, I said Dennis Watson. No, this is not golf. Excuse me.
Carlos to try the point after, and he can give the Broncos the lead, which they get for the first time in the game. No, it's no good. It's wide. So we have a tie score at 6. He didn't get it.
That's the same guy that kicked the winning field goal in overtime last week. Watch once again.
Same guy that missed a field goal in overtime before it.
That's true. Now you watch Watson. He's absolutely uncovered. And he waltzes into the end zone, avoiding 1 tackle, and the Broncos score.
Steve Watson was just on the payoff end of a 35-yard pass run for the score of the game so far for Denver. Their first, and the missed extra point leaves it at 6-6. Tie game as Carlos is ready to kick it off. Tony Collins is back deep now for New England. At the goal line. 20 and room to run. 30. Not done yet. He's out to the 35-yard line.
We'll watch that touchdown again. Watch 42 at the bottom of the screen. Now, Butch Johnson comes out, and you know they've thrown several patterns to Butch Johnson. It just appears that there is a total miscommunication in coverage. Watson standing there all the way. That's a busted play that results in a touchdown. You'd like to have a lot like that.
Great second look. Here's the third.
I think they all thought it was going to Butch Johnson. And Steve Watson standing there by himself.
Our producer today for NBC Sports is Kenneth Edmondson, our director, John Gonzalez. Now we go to live action as you see 1st and 10, the Pats at their 34. Eason swings it out nicely to James, takes on linebackers and drills ahead. A gain of almost 10 yards. James has been productive every time he's handled the ball. Gets ahead on that catch for a 9-yard run. Cincinnati with a lot of personnel apparently showing it today. Seattle running back Bill Kenny interceptions for 2 touchdowns, blowing out KC. Raiders would drop to 3rd if Kansas City should lose to Seattle today.
No huddle here. Trying to get more points on the scoreboard before the half ends.
Eason with 2:14 to play in the first half again goes to James. He's ahead for the first down for New England out to the 48-yard line. James, as all the Patriot fans are aware, was originally signed by Washington, the U.S. Football League. Came as a free agent to the Patriots last April. Here's the missed extra point that left the game in a 6-6 tie. So we'll be back to Mile High Stadium right after this.
It's on the sideline for all you young kickers now. Got a lesson for you. Watch the plant foot, the foot with the shoe on it by Rich Carlos. Watch which way it points. See how he turns it outside? That's why he hooks it, and that's why he missed it. Has nothing to do with the kicking foot. It's always the plant foot.
He's done a big job of free agent. Rich Carlos talking to Gary Kubiak, who's a folk hero of sorts here in Denver after games he's quarterbacked in the absence of Elway with injuries. Big wins he's quarterbacked in his brief career. He too came out of the class of '83. Wasn't drafted in the 8th round. Eason throwing and gets a strike downfield to Stanley Morgan. First down, Stanley Morgan's ahead for almost 10 yards.
Hangs onto the football, too. I like seeing that out of Stanley Morgan. It used to be they'd throw it to him 30 yards deep, but they wouldn't throw it to him.
Patriots in alignment without a huddle. They go to the run, and Craig James breaks ahead and comes inside the 35-yard line. New England nearing field goal range. Their kicker, Tony Franklin, is 2 for 2 for the 6 Patriot points. The second quarter clock winding down. Dan Reeves looking for his orange crush defense to stop Eason, but he's not going to do it here as Eason throws another strike. Stanley Morgan for a first down.
Now he takes time out.
16-yard gain.
Excellent job by New England getting this ball down the field. They started at their own 34-yard line.
Easton comes in with phenomenal numbers, rating of over 100 among the NFL quarterbacks.
For the National Football League.
There's Mr. Watson on the ground after his 35-yard touchdown reception for Denver's first score. The mixed extra point leaves it at 6-6. Second quarter, 1:18 to play in the half. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Mile High Stadium. Raymond Berry taking notes from start to finish as he did in his first game as head coach last week. Right now, the ball is inside the 25-yard line of Denver. First and 10, New England. Eason goes to James, looking for room, and he finds some, and James squeezes inside the 20 to the 19. Game clock winding down, 1:08 and running.
2 plays called in the huddle, and then there's generally an automatic play, so they can run 2 more plays before they have to take another timeout here.
He's going deep to Starring pretty soon. There it is right now. Starring in the end zone, but can't get to the ball.
Well called, Coach.
The corner's been coming up too tight on all that speed.
Yeah, we need you to throw it now, too. He has those gloves on. He has those gloves on that are very good on grass fields. This ball is just slightly overthrown. He's got the room. There's no question about that. Mike Harden in the coverage, and Starring has blazing speed. It's Rich Camarillo, the punter. Imagine he's happy to be back on the sideline after missing the first 9 games of the season.
Tony Franklin pacing in front of him. He could be called on again. Franklin 2 for 2. This game is tied, 6-6. 55 seconds to play first half. Third down and 5 coming up for New England.
Morgan.
Too high. And the field goal unit comes back out for the Patriots.
Patriots have had excellent field position throughout this first half, have gained an awful lot of yards, and when you think they might end up with just 9 points out of it in the first half, I don't think Raymond Berry, Lou Erber, or anyone else involved with the New England Patriots can be very happy about that.
Berry says this Patriot team, in his opinion, is ready to win. What's needed is there on offense and defense and special teams. Says it's a team that knows it's pretty good, but isn't quite sure just where it's at right now.
A lot of people have been waiting a long time for that to happen, Don.
36-yard field goal by Franklin with Tony Eason holding.
No.
Never had a chance. Broncos take over with 45 seconds to play in the half.
Not even close. Raymond Berry's going to give him some encouragement, though.
He didn't want to hear it.
Now let's see if we can pick out Franklin's foot, see if he makes the same mistake that Rich Carlos did. Plant foot is, it's hard to tell from that angle, but it does appear that he got underneath it to begin with, and 2, he did kind of shank it a little bit, didn't he?
kicker, Eli Haji-Shank. Started hitting him today, though. He had a great year a year ago, but as a sophomore, he was having his problems. Elway apparently content to let this first half run out, goes to the run, and to Sammy Weiner, who's ahead to the 28-yard line. Game clock a-ticking, 35 seconds. Bronco fans want a timeout.
So does John Elway.
33 seconds left. Tony Franklin getting some counsel on the sidelines as Elway comes over to get some of his own from Dan Reeves. Join us next Sunday for more NFL action on NBC Sports. Featured games include 2 tough interdivisional battles. 12:30 Eastern time, the Steelers meet the Bengals in a must-win game for Cincinnati. At 3:30 Eastern, Dan Fouts and the Chargers take on the tough Denver Broncos. The Chargers with a big offense and a big win today at Indianapolis. NFL 84 begins with host Bob Costas to start the day. The NFL on NBC Sports next Sunday. John Elway, who headed that fabled quarterback class of 83, $6 million man.
I think I put it up a couple of times here. Take a chance. They've had decent luck throwing the football, especially to Butch Johnson. Be careful with it. Don't throw it down the middle, but try to the outside. I think the New England defensive backs will give them a pretty good cushion. They got some more speed in there. Ray Alexander, number 80.
Second down and 3. Elway takes a look and swings it out. Winder gets it, and again, he is drilled by Blackman.
So far, the best part of the New England Patriot defense today has been their linebackers. They have shut down every screen but one, been all over running backs out in the flat.
Sammy probably saying, well, we better stay away from that one for a while.
Let's run it up the middle a couple times, John. What do you say? The screen worked once. It hasn't worked twice.
And we'll do it for the first half. Dan Reeves and his Broncos go to the locker room. The game tied 6-6. New England striking first in a couple of Tony Franklin field goals. Denver coming back on a touchdown strike. John Elway to Steve Watson for 35 yards and a missed extra point. Leaves the teams as they started deadlocked. NFL 84 is coming up. The scores, the stories, the big plays right here on NBC Sports. Looks like he's going to get the ball all season long a lot of times.
I wonder, though, Don, if in the second half they might bring in Collins and Tatupo just for a change of pace and then bring James back when he's fresh in the fourth quarter.
Well, we'll be coming back. Right now it's halftime, right after these words from your local stations. The game is tied at Mile High Stadium, but New England has been the dominant team through the first 2 quarters of play with a substantial gain on offense over Denver. Right now, we're going to go to NFL 84 in New York.
Thank you, Don Criqui, and I was especially impressed today by the hat sported by Bob Trumpy. Very natty at Mile High Stadium. Let's run through the scores. For some of you, this is a bit of a repeat. For others, the first time through. The Bears beat the Raiders today 17-6. Walter Payton scored twice, ran for 112 yards. The Bears had 9 sacks. That's 20 in the last 2 weeks for them. The Giants over Dallas by a score of 19-7. Both those clubs are now 6-4. San Diego beats Indianapolis 38-10. Dan Fouts 2 touchdown passes at the Hoosier Dome. San Diego is 5-0 outside their division, 0-5 in the AFC West. Philadelphia and Detroit go into overtime, can't resolve it, ends up a 23-23 tie. Eddie Murray missed a 21-yard field goal attempt in overtime for the Lions. Pittsburgh romps over Houston 35-7. Houston 0-10 this year, 23 straight defeats on the road. Mark Malone a hot hand, 3 more touchdown passes and a touchdown run. Minnesota beats Tampa Bay 27-24 on a 53-yard field goal by Jan Stenerud with 2 seconds remaining. James Wilder ran for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns in the losing cause for Tampa Bay. Cleveland beats Buffalo 13-10. Cleveland wins their second. Buffalo is 0-10. Green Bay wins for the second week in a row, 23-13 the final over New Orleans. Lynn Dickey had 2 touchdowns
touchdown passes. The Jets are in front of Miami 10-7, trying to hand them their first defeat. They are late in the second quarter. Cincinnati, surprisingly, with a 17-7 lead at halftime at Candlestick Park in San Francisco over the 49ers. In the game you're watching, it's tied 6-all at halftime. They're at halftime in St. Louis, where the Cardinals, trying to win their 5th straight, lead the Rams 13-3 despite 139 yards rushing already by Eric Dickerson of the Rams. And Seattle is rolling. 31-0 the score. They are not yet at halftime at the Kingdome. 31-zip over Kansas City. Now stay with us. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
I'm Tricky with Bob Trumpy back at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The first half numbers and how they break down. You see the dominance in the first half of the Patriots, 194 total yards. The game, though, is tied 6-6.
Don, the interesting thing, the Broncos do not have a rushing first down in the first half. And last week, of course, Winder had 126 yards, most of that coming in the second half. So you see the quarterback comparison.
Elway and Eason. Elway warming up, although it'll be Eason who'll come in first as the Broncos are ready to kick it off, and Tony Collins is back deep for the Patriots.
Remember, too, that in the last 7 games for the Denver Broncos, they've gotten 22 interceptions and 13 fumble recoveries, and today just 1 fumble recovery.
Here's Carlos into the ball, and the second half is underway. Hits it very well. Collins won't bring it out. The emotion level here in Denver has been almost out of control over the success of this Bronco team, and particularly the upset win over the Raiders at Los Angeles last Sunday. The Patriots front have done a good job diffusing the crowd, getting off to that early lead and controlling the ball.
There's another big factor. That field position. This Denver offense is a good offense, not a great offense, still learning. And when you have 89, 81 yards to go to score a touchdown, that's tough. That's really a very difficult situation for an offense to be in.
One of the few times the Patriots have started off deep in their own end. They'll go now 1st and 10 from their 20. Tupu comes out as the running back and takes it across the 25-yard line. Gain of some 6 yards on the first play of the second half. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 4. On the stop was the middle guard, Reuben Carter, and Rick Dennison, an inside linebacker.
Start the second half basically the way they started the game, Don.
Tupu, the runner. Wide right. The lower portion of your screen is 81, Stephen Starring. Goodbye, guy. At the top of your screen, Stanley Morgan, who came in averaging almost 32 yards a catch.
Tight end's wide open. Oh.
Time for the big dogs to feed.
I'm telling you, though, Derek Ramsey ran right down through the middle of that double rotation zone and was wide open. Thank goodness for the pass rush of the Denver Bronco defense, or Eason had a receiver wide open for a long gain.
But it brings up on the lost yardage. 3rd down and 10 for New England. So Tony Eason, a big, rangy quarterback, 6'4", 215 pounds, and a fine runner, sets his team from the original line of scrimmage to 20. 3rd and 10.
Plenty of room to run.
All day long. He's for the first down and some more. And wisely uses the 12th man to bail out.
Excellent choice. And Eason, throughout his stint this year, and this being the 7th start, has run the ball very well. Those 4 touchdowns lead the New England Patriots in rushing touchdowns. He's not afraid to run it at all.
Say he won this team over, Trump, in a preseason game when got close to the goal line, put his head down, and blasted somebody right in. He got knocked out doing it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take long for quarterbacks to learn that you may gain respect, but you lose hours and days, and they need Tony Eason healthy.
You end up in Mass General
for a long period of time.
1st and 10 now, New England. The Patriots get the ball out in a 16-yard run by Eason. And in front of him, Eason throws, and the man is open, but the ball is tipped away and very nearly intercepted. Lynn Dawson, the tight end, had the defense beaten. He was behind the linebacker. The ball was just a little short and very nearly intercepted. Rick Dennison making a big play.
This is a good drop, too, by the linebackers. You see, this would have been a real finesse pass had Lynn Dawson been able to catch it. That's good coverage by the Denver Bronco linebackers. They drop back there and give those defensive backs help because they have confidence in the defensive line to put pressure on the quarterback.
Joel Collier, the Denver defensive coordinator, employs a lot of linebackers who are undersized, but they're very, very fast, very aggressive hitters. Players like Jim Ryan and Tom Jackson, who's probably the best linebacker on the Denver team. 2nd and 10. Jackson's coming. They screen him off. down the sideline, and going for the ball is Stanley Morgan, and they rule it inbounds.
Oh, it took them a while to make up their mind on that one. They're going to give it to him.
21 yards.
There's Steve Grogan in the background. Watch this catch. Both feet must come down inbounds. There's one.
And there's one out of bounds.
First down.
Whatever it takes. But the official is probably ruling that Harden pushed him out of bounds when he had possession of the ball.
He may be ruling that, but he didn't do that. And it took a while for the officials to decide. They were looking at each other. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you catch it?
The first time in your life you ever helped a defensive back. Tutupu running on first down gets it to the 42-yard line.
Well, that may be the big play in this half. There's no question about that.
Broncos give up a lot of yards, but they don't down near the goal line, as we saw illustrated in the first quarter.
Let's watch this catch once again. We know his left foot is in. Let's watch for the right foot. Left foot down.
Right foot out.
Well, there is contact with the defensive back, and maybe the official is saying
he was right there, though.
Yeah, both of them were right there. Tough call.
2nd and 8. A little bit low, coming off the left flank and angling in. Going for the ball was Stanley Morgan. The sprinter from Tennessee, now in his 8th year. And the scoreboard shows the Jets leading the Dolphins 10-7 on a Pat Leahy field goal in the second quarter. Cincinnati continues to lead the favored 49ers at the half at San Francisco. The Cardinals, a rolling team behind quarterback Neil Lomax, now out in front of the L.A. Rams, and Seattle is laying waste to Kansas City. At halftime, it's 31-0, and Kansas City starting quarterback Bill Kenny's out with an elbow and a shoulder injury. Matt Blackledge is in. 3rd down and 8 for the Patriots. Timing pattern to Smith and Starring, and there's too much on it. It's incomplete.
Great coverage by Louis Wright. Stayed right with him stride for stride. That little bump at the line of scrimmage took some of the timing away from the pattern.
Rich Camarillo, number 3 in the game to punt. Denver coming in, giving up a lot of yards, as we mentioned, but the fewest points of any team in the NFL. Not only 118 through the first 9 games. Miami the second.
Once again, New England drives from their own 20-yard line down to the Denver 39-yard line.
Important punt here, though, Trump, if Camarillo can pin the Broncos back. Mike Harden is the deep man for the Denver Broncos, standing at his 10.
Watch him go for the corner.
Gets it downfield.
Watch him catch it. Dombrowski.
Oh, there's a big play.
Huge play. It's legit, too.
Paul Dombrowski came down, and you called it, fielded the punt.
Last year, Camarillo and Dombrowski practiced this thing all week long. And Camarillo has great control. It was a low snap, and he was still able to get it off. Now watch. All he has to do is avoid touching that goal line, and then he has the presence to throw the ball down at the 3-inch line.
Paul Dombrowski, one of those undersung people. Free agent, all they do, though, is win games sometimes.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Atra from Gillette, the essence of shaving. And by IBM.
Paul Dombrowski from Linfield College in Oregon. Not too many people can say they're from Linfield College in Oregon.
Or want to.
Made a great play. Taking the punt down inside the 5, and now the Broncos go first and 10 from scrimmage. Get the ball out to the 2-yard line. New England's defense has really played an admirable game. They've been outstanding right through this 3rd quarter.
Now watch this play. All he's got to do is avoid stepping on the goal line.
He got rid of the ball before he did.
Yes, he did. I'm sure there are Denver fans who say he did step on the line, but in the official's determination, he had the presence of mind to drop it out there. And boy, does that put Denver in the hole. They've had lousy field position in this football game.
And the New England defense has done it to them now with 12 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. It's 2nd down and 9. Elway fires. The ball is caught. Don Summers came down with the ball, but didn't get many yards. He's out to the 3-yard line, that's all.
If that ball was thrown a little better, Summers might still be running. John's mad at himself.
John Elway from Stanford. 6'3", 202 pounds, came into the game with 6 touchdown throws and 7 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 68. Today, of course, he has the 1 touchdown throw, the 35-yard strike to Steve Watson for the game-time touchdown. The extra point was missed. The score stands at 6-6 now in the third quarter, same as it did at halftime. Back to the run, and there's not much there. Nelson fills the gap. Great quickness. The veteran from North Dakota State comes across and again stuffs the run. So the Broncos, unable to get out of their own end, have to punt the ball back, and the Patriots, as has been the story of this game, appear prompt, ready to get very good field position.
I like that call, too. The New England Patriots came with a 5 defensive back set. That means only had 2 linebackers. There was a spot up the middle. They couldn't pull the trap off, but if Winder pops through there, he's going to run for 8 or 10 yards. Well defense by New England. And field position has been the biggest factor in this football game.
Clarence Weathers, a gloved receiver, is back now anticipating the punt of Chris Norman. Remember, he shanked his last one in the second quarter. Gets a good one here, though. Powers the ball back down inside the 40, and here comes Weathers. 45. Somebody came in with a high hit. Be a foul call. 56-yard punt, an 11-yard return, and a flag is down. Somebody went a head hunting on that one.
Yeah. Weathers is not a big guy. I mean, he does go down in a hurry.
Holding against the Patriots, so instead of getting the ball near midfield, they'll be set back with 10:58 to play in the third quarter.
66 yards on that play. 56 yards on the punt, 10 yards on the penalty.
59 of the receiving team, first down.
That's not a bad play, is it? 66 yards?
Tim Golden was called for holding. So the Patriots will have the ball 1st and 10 when we come back. Back at Mile High Stadium, this building normally a cauldron of emotion, but the Patriots have done a good job diffusing the Bronco fans because they've really controlled the game with their great defense.
You're right. They've not. New England has also not turned the football over, and that 66-yard play there for the Denver Broncos could loom as a very large play. No mention of my hat. I mean,
you get a bowl of soup with that?
You're terrible. I like this hat.
Now 1st down and 10 for New England. Ball at their 35-yard line. Roll out throw, and Stanley Morgan has the ball and more as he rockets across midfield and comes down to the Bronco 47. Gain of about 18 yards and a 1st down.
Excellent call. Excellent call by the New England bench. All Stanley Morgan did was take about 2 steps down the field, turn around, and this is almost like a pitch out. Watch how short this pass is. Right there, he's inside the outside linebacker, outside the inside linebacker. Does that make any sense?
Except that.
Let's use it. Misses him. Boy, no substitute for speed.
2 things you can't coach, speed and luck. Eason throws and open for the ball, and stepping down the field is Stephen Starring, and he's down to the 22-yard line. As the Patriots strike quickly now, that a 25-yard gainer, and all of a sudden they're challenging in this tied game.
Well, Dan Reeves said before the ball game he was scared to death of their speed. Starring has got loads of it, and he's getting a big cushion. The Denver Broncos in a zone here. Eason stands right there, right on the money, catches it in full stride, laces up, right foot. Big 1st down. But this is where now Denver generally rises to the occasion.
Down close to the goal line. They don't give up much. Tupu tries them, and he gets some as Mosey Tupu crashes down to the 15-yard line. Born in American Samoa, one of the great high school players in Hawaiian football history, then on to Southern California for a great career.
Don, I'll make this comment. Ron Meyer is no longer the head football coach of the New England Patriots, but these players have got to give him a lot of credit. 5 years ago, this was a finesse football team, offensively and defensively. They beat you 60-0. They wouldn't draw blood on you. Now, they'll beat you up at the line of scrimmage, and Tupu is one of them. So Ron Meyer deserves a lot of credit for any success his football team has the remainder of the season.
Well, Tupu was never a finesse football player.
Oh, true.
I'm a Chinese astronaut. Here's a throw into the end zone, and Clarence Weathers has the ball. It's a touchdown for the Patriots. 15 yards and a touchdown. Great throws by Tony Eason. 1, 2, 3, and bang, they're in the end zone.
Mike Harden on the coverage, single coverage, and once again, that foot speed. Watch this, right on the money. He sees him coming. Perfect timing inside. That's Dennis Smith. Harden was underneath. Dennis Smith is probably their best defensive back.
You see Clarence Weathers, the little guy from Delaware State in his second year with his first touchdown of the season. The Patriots now looking to take a 7-point lead.
This stadium is very quiet.
Silence is deafening as the extra point is good. And with 8:56 to play in the third quarter, the New England Patriots open up a 7-point lead. They'll kick it off when we come back to Mile High.
Watch the protection by that offensive line. He has time, and when you give a quarterback a Tony Eason's talent time, good catch by Clarence Weathers, catches the ball with his hands, and the first touchdown of the day.
And
for
only
the New England Patriots.
6th touchdown this season, Trump, that anybody scored against the Broncos throwing the ball. They give up very few. Well under 1 a game. Now Franklin kicks it off. Coming up is Gene Lang with the ball, and he's out to the 25-yard line. The sport of kings in its long history has its biggest day ever this Saturday on NBC Sports, the Breeders' Cup. NBC proudly presenting the first in the Breeders' Cup Championship Series, the Super Bowl of horse racing from Hollywood Park in California. The great ones like Slew of Gold, Chief's Crown, and all along they're among the big names entered, lured by $10 million in purses. A total of 7 races. That big Bronco won't be running, but the best from around the world will. Saturday on NBC Sports, the Breeders' Cup Championship Series. Now the Broncos have the ball, trailing 13-6. Elway looking to put it downfield on first down. Too much on the ball. It'll be second down and 10.
And I'll make this comment. Doesn't it seem to you that Elway has been off target a lot today? I mean, we've seen him now. This is our 4th time.
High. He has.
Yeah. He has not really thrown the ball as accurately as he generally does. Now, I can't tell you why. Once again, he's had that bad shoulder, but he's just missing receivers that he would generally hit. That's not a difficult throw for John Elway at all. Did I see that right? 112 yards for New England, 2 for Denver in the second half?
That's all. Patriot defense controlling this football game, and right now, Elway throws a strike right downfield for a first down to Steve Watson, the guy he likes to go to most, a 13-yard gain.
Yeah, well, thanks, Elway. Make me look bad. He was certainly on target with that one.
Lester Hayes of the Raiders said this man's got a fastball like Goose Gossage.
Yeah. I think it's still true that the Denver Broncos do not have a rushing first down. When you have to rely totally on the pass to get the ball down the field, that's putting tremendous pressure on your offense.
Sammy Winder runs right into Ken Sims. Luther Henson, middle guard, playing off the center, stuffing the run also, and then Sims got the direct hit.
Listen to these people booing. You got to have balance in your offense. You can't continually throw the football, or eventually the pass rush and zone defense is going to eat you alive. I can't believe these people, for the years they've been watching football, don't understand why the Broncos are trying to establish some sort of running game.
Now a rushing first down the game, as you pointed out, and now with Gene Lang, the deep back. Elway's getting set to throw on 2nd and 11. Deep drop. It's a downfield, and Watson has the ball for yet another first down. We'll see if they spot the ball. He caught it and came back. It looks like he has just enough.
Now that's the difference between John Elway of 1983 and John Elway of 1984. In 83, he'd have panicked. He'd have been jumping all over the place. But now he has the presence of mind and the confidence in his receivers and offensive line that they'll protect him. We'll watch Steve Watson. You can see it's zone coverage. He runs behind Claiborne and then comes back to help his quarterback out. Completion, first down. Here comes Denver.
Ball spotted ahead right at the 50 for a Bronco first down. So now Denver with Summers in motion and Elway dropping to throw again.
Whoa.
Elway swept under back at the 36-yard line. Andre Tippett, 56 in his 3rd year from Iowa. In New York, they talk about Lawrence Taylor. In New England, they talk about Andre Tippett.
It's only a matter of time before he gets to the quarterback, and if you don't pay attention to him, watch him at the top of the screen. You see, the guard is trying to pull out Paul Howard to block him. He's got too much speed. He just outruns the guard to the quarterback.
An hombre, 6'3", 240 pounds, wears the same number as Lawrence Taylor.
They've stuttered back in the ball game. Apparently they cleared his cobwebs. He had a concussion in the first half. This is an offensive line that's beat up.
Extra DBs in the game now. Dombrowski in. Marion. Sanford playing way off the line of scrimmage. They know Elbay will be going long. Here's a fire out in the flat. And what's there, though, it's short of the 50-yard line.
Tippett after him again. Destroyed the timing of the pattern, but a great catch by Butch Johnson. Watch at the top of the screen. This time Tippett down. He beats offensive tackle Ken Lanier. Just runs around him. Watch him fire that thing. How did he catch that? Not a bad reception.
Ray Claiborne right on him. He did catch the ball, so it brings up 3rd down and 13.
I'd expect the blitz again. They've had some luck with it in this series.
Watson is wide left. He's it. Coming off the left flank against Claiborne. Elway looking at him, but there's nothing there. And now Elway tries to run, and he's swept under again. Elway knocked down to the 42-yard line, and that brings up 4th down. And again, the Broncos have to punt the ball to New England.
Boy, this New England defense has done an outstanding job. The linebackers have played brilliant football. Now Tippett this time he's a defensive end, and he keeps the pass rush lane. And he keeps Elway from getting out there and running for 12 or 15 yards. Excellent job by this New England defense. Rod Rust has done a great job preparing all of them to keep John Elway under control.
Stephen Starring back deep now, waiting the punt of Chris Norman. Starring back at his 15-yard line. 5:05 to play in the 3rd quarter. Tremendous high punt. Wow. Starring takes it. Living dangerously, Stephen Starring takes a 52-yard punt, runs it back 4. Edmonds had the ball, but they start out in a hole back at their 10-yard line. So Eason, who directed a beautifully constructed touchdown drive, well crafted, now brings the offense back out. John Elway and the Broncos, their offense on the sideline again as New England has the ball 1st and 10. Now the crowd, 75,000 strong at Mile High, starts up. Stamping the feet, the Rocky Mountain Thunder makes it difficult for Eason to call signal. 4:57 to play 3rd quarter. New England, the underdog, leading the Broncos 13-6. 1st and 10 Patriots. Tatupu turns the corner, gets ahead to the 15-16, and still trucking out to the 17-yard line. Gain of 7. Steve Foley, the free safety, finally ran him out of bounds.
I notice a change for the Denver Bronco defense. Rulon Jones out of the ball game. In his place is Andre Townsend, number 61. I don't see Rulon Jones on the sideline either. There he is. Just giving him a rest.
The scores roll by. Pat Leahy kicked a field goal in the 3rd quarter for the Jets. They now lead the unbeaten Dolphins 10-7 in the 3rd quarter.
Don, I tend to think New England will be very conservative in this series. That's why they got Tatupu in there. They're most sure-handed ball carrier. This is where Denver likes those turnovers.
They go for the ball. Eason's going for the down, though. Running out of trouble. He takes a look, and now he's got to take it and eat it. He's still alive. Swinging it out, and Derek Ramsey doesn't catch the ball. Eason's a cool hand. Ducking trouble and finally getting free and loosen the ball.
He looked like Houdini on that play. Looked like they got him twice. You see him out here? Look at that. Well, that's a great job of getting him. Then he just overthrows Ramsey just a little bit. Well, that's another big play.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WVIT Channel 30, New Britain, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven.
Don Crickey with Bob Trumpy, Mile High Stadium. Patriots in white, leading in the 3rd quarter, 13-6. They go to the run now, and 3rd down and 3, and breaking ahead is Craig James, and he has a Patriot 1st down.
Statue of Liberty. We got a Denver Bronco down. He got dinged. It's Randy Robbins.
That Craig James has outrushed the Broncos virtually 3-1.
Good call. Eason goes back like he's going to pass, and James does kind of a pirouette, comes back, takes the ball. Big 1st down right there.
First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Patriots with the ball and a touchdown lead. James somehow finds a way again. Has a tremendous ability to stutter step and then accelerate and get ahead when seemingly he's been stopped at the line of scrimmage. Now to NFL 84 in New York.
Don, the problems for Bill Kinney continue in Kansas City as Dave Brown has his second interception return for a touchdown. Earlier he had a 95-yard return. This time a 58-yarder. The Seahawks now have 3 interception returns for touchdowns. 38-0 Seattle.
Thank you, Bill. Those Seattle defensive backs must be the only guys open.
And wide open.
Second down and 6 now. Swing pass goes out. James can't get to it. Very nearly a live ball. The rule was a forward pass.
Never take a chance with that ball thrown out the flat, too. If you're a receiver, get over there and cover it. Let the official make the choice. Trying to beat the blitz there. You saw Easton just trying to throw it over the head of Tom Jackson coming in on the blitz.
Last week, the Bronco defense on the field forced the world champion Raiders into 7 turnovers as the Broncos went on to win 22-19 in overtime. 40 turnovers forced by the Bronco defense in the first 9 games. But only once as New England turned it over today, and that was on a snap from center that Easton didn't handle down near the goal line. Did cost the Patriots a touchdown. 3rd and 6. Here's a throw, and Jackson slaps the ball away.
Great play.
Pro Bowl play by a Pro Bowl player. Stanley Morgan had a step on him, but Jackson with great speed recovered and slapped it down.
Well, you can see the confidence Joe Collier has in Tom Jackson putting in man-on-man coverage with Stanley Morgan. The difference in foot speed there is light years, and yet Jackson able to get his hand up, knocks it away.
Action Jackson from Louisville. Not big, but as fast a linebacker as there is in the league.
Yeah, you're right. Not big. I'll bet he plays at about 213, maybe 14, 15 pounds.
5'11". Camarillo into punt. There's Zach Thomas back deep for the Broncos, standing at his 25-yard line. 3rd quarter clock with 3:05 to play. 13-6 New England. Camarillo hits it downfield. Thomas will bring it back. Going wide and up the middle, and good special teams coverage. And 1, 2, 3 flags come in. A 42-yard punt, a return of just 2 yards.
That was on Ricky Hundley. Illegal block in the back by number 98.
Ricky Hundley, the great All-American linebacker at Arizona. #1 draft choice of the Bengals. Didn't come up with the Bucks, didn't sign him, and traded him to Denver, who did.
He likes it here. Did you hear the comment that Raymond Berry made to his team?
Believe me, that is a football player right there.
You got it. Raymond Berry told his team in the first meeting, he gets somebody to stand up and he says, this is the front of this person, this is the back. I don't want to see anybody blocking anybody in the back. You understand? They haven't had one today.
.254 to play in the 3rd quarter, and you see how it's gone on first down today. Patriots dominating that down as they have the game.
You're right. Patriots have 5 yards or more on 15 of their 22 first down plays. That's the difference.
Patriots leading the game 13-6 as Elway and the Broncos cocking the gun looking for a big play. Anthony fires. Look at that throw. 11 yards and a first down. I've never seen anybody throw a football like that.
You're right, and basically that's the pattern they've been able to run almost at will today. The little slant pass.
I mean, to catch it is something. This is Butch Johnson.
Takes guts going in there. You get a weak side rotation zone, and Rick Sanford is standing right in your face with about 215 pounds of shoulder right in your chest.
Those receivers have to look like they've been worked over with a ball-peen hammer
sometimes.
Catching at the nose of that ball, but Johnson held in, and now it's first down for the Denver Broncos. Elway with time. It's running out. Long ball.
Look at that.
Johnson's out there. And down to the 20-yard line.
No flag. Now that looks like an easy thing to do. Elway throws that ball 40 yards on a line. He goes in motion. Johnson's going to get credit for the catch. And I'm telling you, that Elway, that thing is loaded that he's got attached to his right shoulder there. Look at that. Got steam on it. 47 yards, and it looked like a 15-yard out. Whoa. How do you defense that?
Well, on that one, they certainly did not. And Butch Johnson having a good day as the Broncos get down close. They trail in this game 13-6. A lot of time to go. 2 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the third quarter. Watson is wide left. Elway likes to go to him. Hasn't in a while. Elway goes to the run this time, and Winder takes it up the middle as the Patriot defense is knocked down at the 17. Gain of about 3 yards on the play.
And this Denver offense has basically come down to 2 plays. Both scrambles, busted plays. One, the touchdown to Watson, and of course that play by Elway to Butch Johnson. The rest of the offense has been very average today.
Butch Johnson with 6 catches for 120 yards goes wide to the top of your screen. Winder comes into a different set now. Lone set back in the backfield as Don Summers, the H-back, goes in motion. A running tight end, getting a run and jump on the block. Elway throws. Touchdown, Denver. Butch Johnson is there.
And he didn't get to see it.
Oh, Elway was flat in his back when that ball was caught.
Roby Williams nailed him right in the chest. Elway rifled it. I'm telling you, this kid is going to make some highlights. I mean, you can't say enough about his ability. We mentioned earlier the fact that he holds onto the ball, holds onto the ball, holds onto the ball. Last year, he wouldn't have done that. Butch Johnson runs the pattern. Oh, goodness.
Great ones can make it happen fast. We saw Eason direct that brilliant touchdown drive of the Patriots. 3 straight throws down the field and finally into the end zone to Clarence Weathers. Now Elway comes back the other way, and if Carlos hits the extra point, the game will be tied. As an earlier missed extra point, moving very large, and now he's missed a second. So the Patriots have a 1-point lead as Carlos, normally a sure shot, in close, has missed 2 extra points.
This is a 17-yard touchdown to Butch Johnson from John Elway. And Butch is upset at the kicker, although nothing will be said to the kicker. It's generally the way the game is played. You don't talk to the kicker, even when he's successful. When he wins games, then you talk to him. From behind Elway, watch 2 things. One, how he gets belted just as he throws it. Look at that. On the money. No earthquake. Easy, Butch. Easy, easy, easy.
Little moonwalk.
With spikes on. That takes some talent.
Going to do some stuff. A little moonwalk. Extra point. Carlos is shanking him. You gave that involved thing about his plant foot. I didn't understand it, but it must have been right.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Tony Collins back deep now for the kickoff return as Carlos is ready to hit the ball.
Denver's come up with 3 big plays. The touchdown to Watson, the touchdown to Johnson, and the pass to Butch Johnson that Elway just threw.
Kickoff, though, drives Collins back. He's going to bring it out. He's going to want to play sometimes. And now he breaks into open field, comes across the 30 and out across the 40. Normally a 4-yard deep kickoff, and odds are you don't bring it out, but these guys want to go so bad, and Collins broke it and got ahead out across the 35-yard line to the 38. 42-yard return. Excuse me, Trump.
Can't understand why sometimes these kickoff returns, when a guy fumbles it at the line of scrimmage, and when he picks it up, that seems to create a hole in the defense and they get longer returns. But boy, that's just what Raymond Berry wanted. Good field position once again for his offense.
Raymond Berry said we have the offensive talent to score 30 points a game. He put it, if we get the at-bats, we'll get the hits. Right now, it's a 13-12 game. 2 missed extra points by the Broncos, very costly as New England leads by 1. James doesn't get a thing. Touchdown drive igniting the Bronco defense, and now they stuff the run at the line of scrimmage. Gain of maybe a yard. It's tough to run on Denver. Giving up a lot of throwing yards as you see a Bronco down.
That's Tom Jackson. I think he got hit right in the middle of the back with a helmet.
So the clock is stopped with 1 minute and 1 second to play. Third quarter.
They certainly can't afford to lose Jackson. He's the guy that seems to keep this defense together. He makes the big play. They put him in coverage on running backs. Blitzes the quarterback. Tough tackler.
Jackson's the guy that says the Collier philosophy is go for the ball, tackle the ball, and that's where the turnovers come from. One year, the Broncos were very low in the giveaway-takeaway ratio. The next season, Collier instituted a lot of ball drills where they went after the football, and they went right up to the top.
And today, that's been the biggest factor in the football game. New England has turned it over just once, and when they turned it over, they gave the ball to the Denver Broncos at their own 1-yard line.
Patriots have controlled the ball, running it well, but the real success of this Patriot team today, more than anything else, has been the linebacker play.
Absolutely. They've been all over the field, and I admire New England for being patient, for being conservative, not giving Denver the opportunity. And the stat we had earlier, the first down yardage has basically kept Denver out of the defense that they want to play. You see 60. Oh, yeah, you see Tom Jackson just at the bottom there.
Up and he'll be back in. Comes out now as second down, and a long 8 comes up for the Patriots. The pitch back to James. He breaks into open field and gets very close to a first down. See where they spot the ball. Where they're spotting it, he's going to have it. It's a first down for New England out to the 49-yard line. So again, James with a good cutback run moves the yard markers, and it's 4 new downs for New England.
It hasn't gone well for Denver today. What they want to do, what they've done best in the past 7 games, they've not been able to accomplish.
Last week, Trump, as you know, James had 10 carries for 79 yards. Today he has 88 yards already and 15 carries. We're in the third quarter. Back to the money, and James cuts back upfield and gets ahead for a gain of 6 yards. That'll be the final play of the third quarter. It winds down. So almost a standoff, but the missed extra point allows New England to hold a 1-point lead at the end of the third quarter. It's 13-12 Patriots. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Today's game is brought to you by International Harvester. Our commitment is forever. By exceptionally smooth Michelob. Where you're going, it's Michelob. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Don Crickey with Bob Trumpy, Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. We start the fourth quarter with the New England Patriots holding to a 1-point lead, 13-12 over the Broncos. Second down and 3 coming up after another good Craig James run, and right back to James. This is Tony Collins, and he breaks through inside the 35-yard line and down to the 33. Collins was knocked down by the 2 safeties for the Broncos, Steve Foley and Dennis Smith. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. The heaters out on the sideline. The winds have taken the chill factor down probably into the 30s. End off. Tony Collins takes a look, cuts back, and gets down to the 31-yard line. A first down carry is good for 3.
Don, we see graphically the difference between these 2 football teams now. Right now, the New England Patriots want to eat time off the clock. The Denver Broncos, this is now the fourth quarter, do not have a rushing first down. The Patriots have been able to run the ball very well today. And now just by going to what they do best, and that's run the football, they can eat a lot of time off that clock.
13:50 to play in the game. New England with a 1-point lead and driving. Pitch back. Tony Collins. Nothing there. Down at the 30. It'll be third down and 6 as Barney Chavis knocked him down, the longtime defensive end from South Carolina State, number 79.
He can play. Barney Chavis can play. Very, very strong individual. I have a feeling that that last defense that Denver put out there against New England had Chavis dropping off the line of scrimmage to make the tackle on the sweep, which is exactly what he was supposed to do.
Craig James is now back in the ball game for the New England Patriots. Morgan comes out wide to the left. Derek Ramsey's out wide right.
Timeout.
Yep.
Let's see, they had 2, 4, 5. Had 6 defensive backs in, down.
So the Patriots want to talk it over with a very important third down coming up. A break in the action. Will be back after this. Dan Reeves with a problem. problem right now. His 8-1 Broncos trailing by 1 as they have missed 2 extra points today. New England with a critical down coming up as we're in the 4th quarter. Lots of time to go, though. 13:04. This is 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Denver again with 6 defensive backs. Wants to trap up the middle, Don.
4-man rush, a throw, and there's Weathers, who caught a touchdown ball the last time they went to him, was not looking back, and so Franklin's coming out to try a long field goal attempt. If he hits it, it would mean that the Broncos would have to score a touchdown to go ahead.
Remember last time at this end, he missed it badly from a lot shorter distance.
But he hit his first 2, drilled him right through from 30 yards out. Tony Franklin, Dan has set 18 NCAA records at Texas A&M. Tony Eason holds straight away. Right there. Just like they like it in New England, Tony Franklin hits a field goal that gives the Patriots a 4-point lead as those 2 extra points get bigger and bigger as the game wears on. Broncos now in need of a touchdown to go ahead.
Tony Franklin made that 47-yarder, but watch the end of this kick. Just as the ball leaves his foot, watch his footing. Watch his plant foot. Whoa. Still good.
He got it. Went down, but he got it, and now he's ready to kick it off. Zach Thomas and Gene Lang are back deep for the Denver Broncos. Well hit ball. Thomas 3 yards deep, and here he comes. 10, 15. And he hit a bus. Bus hit him. Down goes Zach Thomas at the 20. Making that play on special teams was Paul Fairchild. Time permitting, we'll switch to Giant Stadium in New Jersey for the end of this game. The Dolphins have just gone in front after trailing 10-7. Woody Bennett on a 3-yard touchdown run. So unbeaten Miami now takes a 4-point lead over the Jets, but they're only in the 3rd quarter. 4:20 to play in the 3rd quarter when that score came.
In case you just tuned in, I want to remind our listeners, watchers, the Denver Broncos do not have a rushing first down to this point in the football game.
John Elway takes a look on first down, throws, and the ball is dropped. Summers started to run before he had it. Now we have a moment to NFL 84 in New York.
Don, you mentioned the score. Watch this hit at Giant Stadium as Miami has come back now against the Jets. Nat Moore on the reception. He is spun around by Kirk Springs and Ken Shore, but he hangs on. Woody Bennett then ran it in from the 3, and the former Jet makes it 14-10 Miami.
Thank you, Bill. And here at Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado, with 12:41 to play in the game. The Broncos trail by 4. 2nd down and 10 coming up for John Elway and the Broncos. Long ball. Watson's going for it. Coverage was right there. Lippett was with him stride for stride, and the ball caroms off the hands of Watson.
Well, the entire Denver Bronco bench was looking for a flag in that particular case. You realize how difficult it's got to be now for a team down 4 points, can't run the football, and just got to throw it on every down to try to get back in it. See if we can see any contact. Watch the Denver bench. Watch their reaction. They're all pointing. Interference.
They're showing big Ken Sims some respect. He's getting double teamed coming off the ball, the left defensive end. 3rd down and 10 now as Elway goes from the shotgun. Stands in, fires. Butch Johnson has the ball. First down for the Broncos. A very big play, and the Broncos get 2 downs as they have the ball out to their 33.
In front of Lippett. Just coming back from knee problems. Butch Johnson has had a fine day. And Elway again makes it look very easy.
Elway with that rocket arm can make something big happen fast. Right now, Johnson's been the guy, the main man, as he's way out in the left flank. They have Watson slotted. Now he comes in motion. Number 81, Steve Watson. He caught the first touchdown throw. Out it goes, and again, the ball to Winder, who was quickly hammered by Don Blackman.
They have taken that pattern away all day long. Those outside linebackers. Basically, what Elway is reading If he gets zone coverage, he throws to the man on the flat. If it gets man-to-man, he throws to the man on the slant. And every time he's thrown it out in the flat, that guy's been there to make sure the running back gets no yardage whatsoever.
Second down and 10 coming up. Broncos trailing in the game, 16-12. It was tied 6-6 at halftime. Elway and a called rollout. With a fire on the run, the ball's in the air. Incomplete.
Paul Howard paid a price. He was looking up. Somebody nailed him right in the chin.
Big guys looking at manna from heaven.
Yeah, look at it. He's lying down there on the ground. I don't want to be a receiver. Don't throw it my way. Don't even tip it my way. You see this ball tipped by, it looks like Sims. Now watch Howard, number 60, really take a shot with his own, by his own player, Clarence K, 88.
When there's a free ball, there are no fellow players.
You got that right.
Third down and 10 now as the Broncos again faced with long yardage and third down. Last time you'll recall they hit Butch Johnson. Looking at again, this time it's Watson diving at the ball. He's got it. But whether or not he's got enough for the first down, looks like he does.
It's amazing.
That is amazing. Now they're starting the ball. They're going to have to measure.
That's Keith Lee, and he was right with the receiver.
He got it. Trumpets by the nose. This is no sure thing.
You can see the difference between John Elway last year and this year. This year he throws it into the ground, so the ball is not tipped. Make sure there's no interception. He's come up with some big plays today. It's been John Elway or it's been nothing.
He's got it. Touchdown Broncos. Keith Lee high a rough.
Excuse me, Keith Lee on the coverage. Once again, watch Elway hang on to this football. He shouldn't throw it here. He really shouldn't. But there's nobody else open. He fires it down on the ground. And as it's Watson that makes the catch, goes down there on the ground to get it. Keith Lee's saying he's safe. He's safe. No, he's saying he didn't catch it.
But he did, and it's out to the 43-yard line. First and 10 now for Denver as Watson goes far to the left. Johnson on the right flank. Flip it up tight against Butch Johnson now backing off. Patriot corners playing off. Elway looks, fires over the middle. Johnson can't hold on, and Sanford had a clean play on the ball but couldn't hold it.
Man, that was like trying to catch a BB. That one whistled through his hands. He's probably got slice marks on his fingers. And the defensive back from the New England Patriots couldn't stop it either. Now, I'll tell you what. If Denver comes back and makes a game of this, gets the ball in the end zone without a rushing touch or first down, that's going to make a lot of headlines around this country.
It's a 16-12 game. New England's in the lead. Denver has the ball second down and 10 in the fourth quarter from the Bronco 43. Elway throwing on virtually every play now. Goes long. Watson's out there. The ball is intercepted by the Patriots. It is taken down by New England. Coming up with the ball was Raymond Claiborne. And so the Bronco drive is stopped and New England gets the ball back. Raymond Claiborne with his second interception of the year and only the 10th this season for the Patriots as a team.
Well, you have to keep throwing the football. Eventually it's going to happen. Right side of the screen. This is just a little fade pattern by Watson. Ray Claiborne is right in between. The quarterback, the ball, and the receiver comes up with the interception. That's one turnover apiece. That one a lot bigger than Denver's.
We'll be back as the Patriots go on offense in a moment. Coming up next Saturday, they say, Trump, the worst thing that can happen to any young man is to win a bet on a horse at an early age.
$10 million next week. Are you joking? I'll run one of those races. Just give me somebody to run against.
Well, it's the best in the world going to be there at Hollywood Park in California, and so will NBC Sports. The 1984 Breeders' Cup, the first in what will be a long series matching the greatest thoroughbred athletes in the world. 7 races, the total value $10 million. But right now, we go back to live action of the Patriots with the ball. James, the money man, takes it on first down and again weaves his way across the 35 and out ahead for a gain of close to 5 yards.
You mentioned the Breeders' Cup and all those great athletes running. I think the Denver Broncos would like to have somebody running the ball. 100-yard game is first in the NFL for Craig James. Congratulations. Only the second of the year for the New England Patriots. Tony Collins had the other one.
Not the last.
You got that right.
Definitely a player, Craig James. They go right back to him. Puts moves on those linebackers.
Face mask.
Yep. That'll be Patriot yardage, and James is up protesting.
That's a good call. I got it on Steve Busick.
Craig James was a legend in Texas high school football at Stafford High in Houston. As a senior, he rushed for over 2,400 yards and 35 touchdowns. Was the Texas Player of the Year. Went to SMU, and they had a better back, Eric Dickerson.
How about sharing time with Dickerson and both of them getting over 1,500 yards their senior years?
3 straight years, they both rushed for over 1,000. James had an unhappy experience with the now defunct Washington Federals of the U.S. Football League.
Casting the face mask. 58. Defense. First down.
I gave him 10 yards on that, too. That's 15 yards. That's a major foul, not inadvertent in the estimation of the officials.
Call it on Steve Busick, a linebacker from Southern California who's played very well. He's taken over for retired Randy Gradishaw, the perennial All-Pro here in Denver. Busick, the leading tackler for the Broncos. Right now, it's 1st and 10 for New England. 43-yard line of Denver. Play fake to James, and Eason drills it out. Gets Lynn Dawson at tight end. He's across the 30. Rambles right down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Now, Don, you see the difference? The Denver Broncos must respect the running game of the New England Patriots. It keeps the linebackers at the line of scrimmage. Then you can run a play-action fake and get the ball down the field to Lynn Dawson. That was a 15-yard gain. That's just sound offense. With the Denver Broncos not being able to run the ball, there's no threat. There's no reason to stay at the line of scrimmage.
Broncos not sure what's coming at them now as Eason mixing the run and the pass. Lone setback is James. He gets the ball and a big block from John Hanna. Takes on the free safety, Steve Foley, and is knocked out of bounds at the 25.
Well, 79 yards Craig James gained last week, all in the second half. This goes without saying that this is certainly the most he's carried the ball, the most he's played. And you'll see John Hanna, Ming the Merciless, he'll pull out there, be a lead blocker. Always has been one of the best. Watch him. He gets on Busick and turns him to the inside. Great block by John Hanna.
Good open field tackle also by Foley, a former quarterback at Tulane. Got great tacklers in the secondary of the Broncos. Eason on a rollout, drills it down. It's incomplete, almost intercepted. Ball was knocked away by Louis Wright, and Dennis Smith, 49, had a play on it. They were going to Stanley Morgan.
I'm rather surprised at that call, Don. The play-action fake once again at the line of scrimmage. Watch him fake to James, and watch what it does to those linebackers. See him hold him there at the line of scrimmage, and he rolls out. This is a good recovery by Ray Claiborne. Excuse me, Louis Wright. Ray Claiborne plays for the other team.
And intercepted the last time they threw his way.
That's where I heard his name.
So now it's 3rd down and 6 for New England. Ball in field goal range for Franklin if they don't get it here. That they should hit it would give the Patriots a 7-point lead. Broncos now teeing off and coming, putting the rush on Eason. And he gets time and an open man with the ball and down inside. Taking it for a first down is Greg Hawthorne, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, in from scrimmage for the first time, and it's an 18-yard gain.
Denver Broncos with 6 defensive backs in the ball game. Tried to get a pass rush on Eason, couldn't do it. And Hawthorne just kind of came out of the wash from the left-hand side of the field to the right-hand side of the field. And his defensive man got picked off. Well thrown, well called by New England.
The Patriots will go back to Foxborough next Sunday to play the winless Buffalo Bills. I don't think they've phoned that one in. Handoff to Tupu. Heads for the goal line, but he struck hard. Coming up to make the hit was Rick Dennison and the strong safety Dennis Smith. As you see the game clock winding down inside, 9:30 to play. Broncos needing the football badly, and Coach Dan Reeves looking right now at a tough situation for his Orange Crush defense.
Denver has still held the New England Patriots to just one touchdown. All the yards they've gained up and down this field all day long, they've gotten but one touchdown.
Double set in the backfield. A power set now for the Patriots. Tony Collins is in there. Eason takes a look, lost the ball, going hard but not getting to it is his tight end Derek Ramsey. Raymond Berry says we won't try that one for a moment.
Once again, this is great coverage by the Denver Broncos. You see 31 Harden. He takes Tony Collins. This is intended for Derek Ramsey, Steve Foley on the coverage, and you'd have had to just drop that one straight out of the sky to get to Ramsey. Once again, the Denver Bronco defense has stiffened.
Big play again. Third down coming up. Third and goal from the 4-yard line. 3 tight ends in the game for the Patriots. Lynn Dawson in motion. Up the middle they go to Collins, and he didn't get there. So the field goal unit comes out. It'll be equivalent of an extra point.
Stage is set for some last-minute heroics. If Franklin converts this, the Denver Broncos are still in this ball game.
Similar numbers to a week ago, only reversed. The Broncos fought back from a 19-6 deficit in the fourth quarter, found themselves down 19-12, and rallied back to tie the game and beat the Raiders in overtime. The Broncos will be down by 7 if Franklin hits this field goal from 19 yards out. He's 3 for 4 today, including a 47-yarder. He's 4 for 5 today, and it's a 7-point New England lead. So Elway and the Bronco offense will get the ball with a lot of time left. 8:24 to play as the Patriots now lead the game 19-12. New England 19, Denver 12. And now, after the field goal, the 4th and 5th tries for Tony Franklin. Franklin hits the ball, kicks it off in downfield as Zach Thomas from the 6. 20. And a good special teams play again, coming down to make the play for New England. Brian Ingram came down, and Nosy Tutupu was also down. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Broncos from their 22-yard line.
And I'm astounded. Without a rushing first down, the Denver Broncos are still in a position to win this football game. I don't know that I've ever seen a football game with those kind of stats, and they're still out there plugging. Nobody's left this stadium.
They never do. Sold out every game. They even sell out the preseason. 75,000 strong. 15 years of sellout. New England defense comes on hard. Andre Tippett picks the ball carrier up. Winder like a rag doll. And it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Now that's smart.
3rd down and 13, excuse me.
The Denver Broncos have got to get something going offensively with the run. They just can't continue to go back there and try to throw it. One, the linebackers are going to be 20 yards deep. There's no respect at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down and 12. They've got to run the ball.
They're going to Watson. 2nd down and 13 yards to go for the 1st down.
No, that's a flag. No.
They're looking at Watson. There it is. He's got the ball, and he's ahead for what will be a 1st down.
No.
It's not brought back.
It'll come back. Tell you what happened. They had a guy go in motion. Butch Johnson jumped just a second. Now what happens if 2 guys go in motion? They both must come set, and the motion man did not.
Right you are, Bob Trumpy.
Summers went in motion, and Butch Johnson jumped. When that happens, when you got 2 people in motion, they both must come set before the play is legitimate.
There's Tom Dooley, the referee, who says...
Motion, number 86 offense. 2nd down.
He gave you the shortened version.
Well, it still brings it back inside the 15-yard line.
Now, New England has 2, 4. A rather standard defense. Regular 34 defense with 4 defensive backs. And watch how deep those linebackers drop.
2nd and 18. Penalty marker Parker down the line of scrimmage, and so is Elway. Ball in the end zone. Summers runs it out. And he is knocked down at the 19-yard line, but this whole thing might be coming back.
You're right. Tip it off sides. They'll get 5 yards. He was obviously coming on the blitz.
So that stops the clock with 7:20 to play in the game. New England scored first in this game, went out in front 6-0. Broncos came back on a touchdown throw. Elway to Watson, but missed the extra point. It was 6-6 at halftime. Both Bronco touchdowns followed by missed extra points by the normally sure-footed Rich Carlos. Right now it's a 19-12 game.
Excuse me, I was going to say they'll take the penalty because it'll save them a down.
Offside. 56 defense. Second down.
I tell you what, Raymond Berry's going to be thinking this head coach, and there's nothing to it, man. Just show up on Sunday,
take notes,
and my team wins.
He's been around too long. 13 years and championship years, some of them at Baltimore. And a Hall of Fame player. Now getting his first chance at age 53 as a head coach in the NFL. Elway throws, and Watson's open. He has a first down and 20 more. As Watson on a second and 13 is all the way out to the 43-yard line. A 25-yard Bronco gain. Nelson and Sanford got him down, but it was too late.
All right, there won't be a lot of press on this, but the guy who deserves credit is Sammy Winder. He picks up Tippett. Watch right in front of him. See the block? Gives Elway just enough time. Once again, he fires that thing out there. Whoa, that guy, he needs a scope on that arm for the distance he can throw it.
Great second look. Our producer for NBC Sports is Kenneth Edmondson. Our director, John Gonzalez, is now with 6:37 in the clock running in the fourth quarter. The Broncos needing a touchdown on an extra point to tie the game. Go to the throw again. Elway stands in. Man is open. Watson takes the ball. 39-yard line of New England. Lippett was taken down the field, the right corner, and then back at the ball came Watson, and Elway was right there with another fastball for a 17-yard gain.
Obviously, their idea is to pick on Lippett since Gibson turned his ankle. They've now got 2 receivers over 100 yards. Butch Johnson and Steve Watson. And to keep throwing it down the field with not being able to run it, I'm stupefied.
Lights are on, the tension mounts. Mile High Stadium. Don Trickey with Bob Trumpy, fourth quarter. Broncos needing a touchdown. First and 10. Elway stands in, lets a rip. Man is open. Tight end, wide open. Lawrence stays inside the 20. He's to the 18-yard line. Another first down for Denver.
You can't give Elway 2 looks. He looks outside to Watson, and look. And one of the things about great quarterbacks is their field of vision. They can just sense when a guy is open. Big catch by Clarence Kay. He dropped one earlier, certainly made up for it there.
Elway spreading the ball around in this drive, getting it to different people, and now he looks to throw again. Quick out. It'll be second down and 10. 4:59 to play. The Jets have scored a touchdown, and they now lead Miami 17-14 in the fourth quarter. Long way to go at Giant Stadium, and time permitting, we'll switch to the conclusion of that game. But this one could very well be an overtime affair.
I'd run the ball right here. Trap up the middle. They might pop one through here. They got Winder. I'd run one right here.
Winder's the setback. 4:59 to play in the game. Patriots 19, Broncos 12. Denver inside the New England 20 with a second down and 10 coming up.
Nope.
Throwing a strike. Watson. 7-yard line. Looks like he might have a Bronco first down. Red Marion and Roland James converge down him, but it's 11 yards and a first down.
Well called. Just a little delay by Watson. He goes down 5 yards. Lets the tight end clear, and he comes underneath. And Elway throws that ball so hard and so quickly, the defensive backs don't have a chance to recover.
Elway, Trump, has now gone over 300 yards passing, 25 for 39. Watson's caught 8 for 134 yards. Butch Johnson well over 100 yards in receptions. Johnson on the right flank. Watson on the left. Here's the run. tip. 4:08 to play. Dan Reeves looking for that TD, and Carlos has missed 2 extra points in as many tries today. He has to be thinking.
They don't miss inside the 20-yard line. Let's see what happens here without being able to run the ball at all today. Certainly cuts down their chances. But I'll tell you what, with that rifle he's got, he can make up for a lot of problems you have. I'm speaking of Elway.
He likes Johnson down close like this, coming to the post. Johnson in motion. Now back the other way. Here's the throw to Butch Johnson. He has it. It's the end touchdown. Great throw, Elway, and now the all-important extra point. Carlos has certainly put the excitement in the extra point here today.
Yeah, they don't want it either. I'll tell you what happened. Ronnie Lippett had coverage on Butch Johnson. Butch Johnson, of course, in motion, knows where he's going. Lippett doesn't. When Johnson turned around and went back outside, Lippett fell down. Allowed just the space that Elway needed, and he gunned it in there again. Unbelievable game.
Rich Carlos has to be thinking, all kickers do, but particularly on a day when his 2 previous extra point tries were wide. Chris Norman, the rookie punter, holds. Tie game. 4:03 to play, and Mile High detonates.
Once again, you'll see Lippett right behind Butch Johnson. That's all the room that Elway needs. That cone is in the end zone. He touches the cone, touchdown. Butch Johnson, by the way, is on the sideline.
That's a very interesting point. That cone is in the end zone.
That cone is in the end zone. In play, in the end zone. There you see. Well, it was Lee. It wasn't Lippett. We'll have to come back with that. You can see Lee does lose his footing when Butch Johnson comes in motion. I got the wrong guy.
There he is. Butch Johnson, his second TD catch. Moonwalking backwards across the end zone, and seatbelt time now as we're going to go down to the gun of this one and maybe longer. 4:03 to play, a lot of time, and the kicker for New England has been most effective. Tony Franklin has hit 4 or 5 field goals today. Butch Johnson and Watson, the 2 big play men on the flanks for the Broncos, and now this place really comes alive. They can make noise like no other ball yard in the league. Carlos drills a kickoff downfield into and out of the end zone. Collins lets it go and comes out to the 20. So Eason and the Patriots now set out in what they hope will be a time-consuming drive that will culminate with a winning field goal or more.
So far, the Denver Broncos defense has not done a good job of stopping New England. New England with a good mix of play action passing, running the football. Look at Eason. Look at Eason in there. He's charging him up. Go get him.
.356 to play. Game tie, 19-19. Patriots with the ball at their 20. Eason with a big throw and a catch and run by Stanley Morgan. He's out to the 40. First down, New England.
That quiets the crowd.
19-yard gain.
Look at it. Come on, let's go get him. Eason in that huddle. As a player, you like to see that out of your quarterback.
Oregon now 7 receptions from for 109 yards.
We got 3 receivers over 100 yards in. 2 for Denver, 1 for New England.
First and 10, New England. Game tied, 4th quarter. Greg James breaks into open field. Turns out a hard tackle, but James again gets first down yardage. Now, while we have a moment, let's go back to NFL 84 in New York.
All right, Don, you've got a good one. There's a good one going on at Giants Stadium where Miami has come right back against the Jets. From Dan Marino, 47 yards to Mark Clayton. There was a flag on the play, but it was against the Jets, so it stands at 21-17 Miami.
Thank you, Bill. A great one going in the East, and we have one in the West. This game is tied, 19-19. New England with the ball. Fourth quarter, 3:08 to play and the clock running. Eason on first down goes to Tutupu. Thundering ahead, cradles the ball, gets 7, maybe 8. Knocked down on the play by inside linebacker Rick Dennison. But Tutupu gets ahead for an 8-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 2, and the Patriots keep the clock running.
Their ability to run the ball all day long is the one thing that has kept them in this football game, the New England Patriots.
Patriots looking to play beat the clock now. Game tie, looking to get in field goal range. Straight ahead they go, and this will bring us down to 2:20 and running. Straight ahead carry by Tutupu is down to the 37-yard line. Very close to a first down.
Broncos have all 3 timeouts left.
They got the first down from.
They won't run another play before the 2-minute warning now.
So we come down to the 2-minute warning. The game tied, 19-19. And here comes another one of those fantastic finishes. We'll watch one from the past, then we'll have one here.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1981, quarterback Richard Todd, his injured ribs ache. His Jets trail the Dolphins with time for one more drive. He hits Jerome Barkham. He nails Lamb Jones. Todd is hot and Don Shula knows it. Less than 20 seconds left. Bingo, the game winner to Barkham. Todd completes passes to 7 different receivers, and the Jets win 16-15.
2 minutes to play. You see the numbers, 19-19, New England and Denver. Dan Reeves' Broncos went down the field on the passing of Elway, finally hitting Butch Johnson for the tying touchdown with the extra point. Now the Patriots moving. They have it 1st and 10. 37-yard line of New England. Tutupu, a sure-handed runner, ducks inside. He's down. He fumbled the ball. Dennis Smith is going to run for the game-winning touchdown. Dennis Smith is inside the 30. And he's in for a touchdown. 69 yards.
Touchdown. That is the 7th touchdown this Bronco defense has scored in 1984. And the blood drains from the New England Patriots' body.
But all is not lost yet, or all is not won for Denver. There's still 1:45 to play.
Last night we were talking to people from the New England Patriots. I asked about Mosi Tutupu and how sure-handed he is carrying the ball. Last season, he had but 1 fumble. This season, he had not had any.
Well, unfortunately for the Patriots, he'll remember that, and the Broncos again deliver the big play and the extra point as Denver rallies in the 4th quarter and now goes in front 26-19. And so the Patriots need a touchdown and an extra point to tie the game. 1:45 to play. New England's going to get it back now.
What a play. We'll watch the whole thing. Starts with John Hanna on the offensive line. It's a simple sweep, nothing to it. Tom Jackson takes out the interference. Dennis Smith strips the ball. No, that's Busick, 58, that strips it out. Dennis Smith picks it up. The 7th touchdown scored by the Denver Bronco defense.
The best athlete on the Denver team, 69 yards. Nobody laid a glove on him when he scooped it up. And so all of a sudden the Broncos, a team with dramatic and sudden defensive impact, comes up with maybe its biggest defensive play of this year.
Don, you asked me earlier today what beating the Los Angeles Raiders twice in one season can do for a team. It gives you that feeling of never say die. As long as the game is going, we got a chance to win.
We'd like to welcome those viewers who've just joined us. Denver Broncos are now leading the New England Patriots 26-19. Immediately following football coverage, we will join the Silver Spoons program. In addition, all remaining NBC Network evening programs will also be seen over most of these stations, except for Pacific time zones and some Mountain time zone stations, where the programs will be seen at the regular times. The kickoff by Carlos. Here comes Tony Collins for New England. To the 25-yard line with 1:38 to play in the game. And all of a sudden, the Patriots finding themselves down by 7.
Patriots with 2 timeouts. Eason still encouraging his mates. They have been able to run the ball up and down the field, although they have not made very good use of their scoring opportunities.
Patriots have 2 timeouts left. Denver has all 3. Broncos won't be looking to stop the clock, as in the 4th quarter. Now you see Miami rallying back to take a 4-point lead, and time permitting, we'll switch to that game. But we're a minute 38 from being done here, and could go into overtime if the Patriots can go the distance. Now they have to use another timeout, but actually called by Denver. The defense wants one. Eason's glad of that.
Well, what happened was they were trying to come with a special defense. It looked like 6 defensive backs, and someone was on there that shouldn't have been. Well, Broncos have allowed the New England Patriots just 1 touchdown. And here's the big play. Tutupu, normally a very sure-handed runner. He doesn't seem to be carrying the ball out loosely at all. Got good strength. Busick strips it away. And Smith is on his way to a 69-yard touchdown.
Could be the game breaker. Certainly for the moment it is. But New England has proven an ability to strike fast against a very good Denver defense.
Prophetic sign there.
Denver fans were booing the Denver offense in the first half when they were unable to move the ball against the Patriot defense.
Well, we set this game up. If New England could hang on to the football, not turn it over to this defense, they had a chance. And they just did.
Still have a chance, though. 1:38 to play. 1st and 10, New England. Eason stands in, throws a strike. The ball is caught. Coming down with it for the New England Patriots is Greg Hawthorne, swinging out of the backfield. A 27-yard gain on the play. Ball is all the way down to the 48-yard line. The clock running, 1:21 to play. Greg James alone setback. Here's a throw and a completion. Stanley Morgan is down to the 36-yard line. It's a 1st down, and the clock continues to run.
I'll watch.
2 timeouts left, and now it looks like they're going to call one, stopping it. 1:01 to play. They have 1 left. Field goals are of no use now. The Patriots have to get the ball in the end zone. They have 61 seconds to do it.
Don, at this point, what Dan Reeves feared the most comes into play, and that is the speed of the New England Patriots. In that particular instance, Dennis Smith, who is a young man who has great speed, could not keep up with Stanley Morgan. Just simply could not keep up with him.
Our NBC statistician, Dennis Mnuchin, totaling the numbers. Eason has thrown 36 times. Has completed 21 for 314 yards and a touchdown. Morgan, his top receiver, with 8 catches for 121 yards. Tony Eason and Elway, both out of that draft of '83. Eason was the 4th quarterback picked in the 1st round out of Illinois.
And the Denver Broncos, a minute and 1 second from winning a football game without a rushing 1st down.
61 seconds to go. Raymond Berry on the sideline now. His team with a pressure situation, having to take it the distance into the end zone. Right now, Miami is leading the New York Jets 21-17 with time to play in the 4th quarter. Dolphins would go to 10-0 if they hold on. New England, the Jets started today at 6-3. Eason stands in, lets her go long. Man is out there. It'll be too long. Eason went down after he threw the ball. Clarence Weathers was in the end zone, but it was too long for Clarence Weathers, who has 1 touchdown reception.
If the lead holds up, this is the way it'll look. The Denver Broncos' lone loss to the Chicago Bears. The defending world champion Los Angeles Raiders, beaten twice by Denver, and in third place.
Denver plays at Seattle November 25th on NBC Sports. Hawthorne coming off the right flank, cutting over the middle. It's going to be here that game, Denver Seattle. Right now, Eason is stopped at the 42-yard line.
Clock will stop now. Give the offense a chance to get back. Oh no, wait a minute. That should stop the clock if it's a sack in the last 2 minutes. Now they stop the clock.
37 seconds to play. A couple more ticked off, and Eason goes to the sidelines.
They took a timeout, but when you are sacked in the last 2 minutes of a half or a game, that's supposed to stop the clock.
They did. They call a timeout. Eason going over to the sideline, and the Patriots' difficulties are now compounded by the fact they're out of timeouts. 37 seconds to play. Denver rallying with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, tying the game, and then coming from behind on a spectacular return of a fumble by Dennis Smith. 69 yards for the winning touchdown if it holds.
There's the brain trust. Cleve Bryant with the headset on. Raymond Berry. Steve Grogan in the red helmet with the red jacket, red hat with a red jacket there. What a performance by this Denver football team.
Well, New England has turned in a tremendous performance also, leading all the way until the fourth quarter, when the big play defense of the Broncos came up with maybe the biggest play yet this season. A 69-yard return of a fumble by Dennis Smith for the go-ahead touchdown. It's the first time in this game that the Broncos have led.
I'll guarantee you right now, the Denver Broncos will never win another football game without rushing for a first down for as long as Dan Reeves is here.
They still have not rushed for a first down, but they could care less at this point. Defense is the story right now for Denver, and big play offense for New England. If Eason can deliver, he has a third down and 15 coming up. Long ball. Too much. Intercepted by Foley. Steve Foley, the free safety, intercepts for the Denver Broncos and brings it back to the 17-yard line.
Incredible.
So the Broncos again find a way. Big play defense from Reeves. The end of this game, we'll be switching to the conclusion of the Miami Jet game. As with 25 seconds left to play and the Patriots out of timeouts, there's nothing left now but hope for New England, and Denver's just going to sit on the ball on the snap.
What a performance. You want to know if this team has character? After last week coming back in overtime to beat the Los Angeles Raiders, I think that's indelibly marked on all these fans' minds now. This is a team of character.
That's going to do it. Thanks to our statisticians, Ron Talpers and Ray Friedman, our NBC statistician, Dennis Benishin, and especially to our producer, Kenneth Edmondson, our director, John Gonzalez. This is Don Criqui for Bob Trumpy as the final seconds tick off. The quarterbacks congratulating, as is the receiver of congratulations here, Dan Reeves, with his 9th win of this season. 10 tries. So the New England Patriots, leading virtually all the way, give up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and the Broncos come back to win as they now go to 10-1. There's an equally big game going on right now at Giant Stadium. Now for Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui as we switch to Charlie Jones and Bob.
Patriots. The 2 deep backs for the Colts, number 80.